Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another market close. It is Friday, February 16th. It's Friday, last day of the week, or at least of the trading week. 3:44 p.m. I'm actually early today. I'm early by about 20 seconds. So we're here today, and we've got a lot to talk about, folks. We have got so much to talk about. This is going to be a good one. Got a lot of news to get through, and a lot of stuff has happened in the past 9 hours. Before we start, Adrian Lazuan, thank you for the $75 super chat. I can't believe you put a super chat before we even started the stream. Again, guys, please, you do not have to send these super chats. I will say it over and over and over again. I am so grateful you guys come to my stream. You guys enjoy. You spend an hour with me. You give me, your time, which is the most valuable thing in the world. So you guys really don't have to send the money. I appreciate it, but thank you. It's very, very appreciated. But at the end of the day, just you guys being here means more than anything to me. So you say thank you for all the time you take to research Palantir and others. Very appreciated. Thank you for the $75. That's a lot of money. These streams do not make $75, so that is a lot of money. Thank you so much. And you know what? That $75 is going to go into buying, 3 more shares of Palantir? We'll probably get about 3 more shares. 25 times 3. There you go. So we'll get 3 more shares of Palantir. Thank you so much for that. Today, we have to talk about Smci. It has collapsed 20%. There are some people that have lost a lot of money today. We're going to be talking about some of the stories I've seen in terms of people losing closer to 70,000, which is their entire portfolio. On the contrary, which you guys will see on the thumbnail, SMCI is down 20%. Robinhood cracked through 14, and it is 14 minutes from close. If we close above 14 for the first time since January 2022, it's been 2 years, it would be just incredible to see if that happens. So right now, Robinhood 1405, and that's been the contrary sort of mechanism that's happened in the market today. You've got these stocks that have run up a lot start to come down dramatically in one day, and you've got the other stock that have been depressed at $8 for the past 22 months start to get some momentum. We also got PPI data, housing data. We talked about that in the morning open, but I want to expand on some of that and talk about the implications that has on everything else that happened in the stock market today. So let's get into it. Thank you all for being here on the market close. Valerio, Merv, Pag, Digital Content, Andy, I Show Sad, Cars84, Kevin Smith, what's up? You made a market close. June, Carl, Eeyore was right. Belly Pork, Myra, what's up? Thank you for being here. Ray, Arlie, Theo J, H2O, Futbucker, we got here. He says Vlad disabled the buy button on SMCI. Oh boy, we got a lot to talk about with that as well. Johnny Boy, Garcia, Imran, Tom Brady, Mikkel, Johnny Mack, Damian, thank you all for being here today. All right, so let's start off with SMCI. We got to talk about SMCI. Again, I have not said these 4 letters more than I've ever said today, or really in the past couple of weeks, other than based on what's been going on in the market over really the past 4 or 5 weeks with SMCI. This is the big news of the morning. So first of all, let's look at the stock real quick because we haven't looked at the stock in a second. Tommy, hi from Netherlands. Hello, Tommy. Thank you for being here from the Netherlands. SMCI right now, stock price $806. So it's still down about 20%. By the way, Palantir 2442. We'll talk about what's happening with Palantir, down about 4% of the day. But SMCI 807.57, down 19.62%. It was $1,077.87 at 9:30. It is now $807. If you bought puts, especially puts that are expiring today, meaning you bought 0-day expiration puts and you had, strikes in the 900 to 800 range, maybe you had strikes in the 780 range, you were up 10x. Some puts I saw 15x in 5 hours. I mean, you made 15x in 5 hours. Now, granted, how many people did that? Probably not a lot, but I would say some of the more sophisticated people that really thought this was going to sell off on Friday, maybe they loaded up. And I mean, that's like a lifetime's worth of returns in a couple hours because you saw that SMCI was likely going to be coming down. And so that's why it's also, a really tough situation to reconcile. Now, here's what I saw on Wall Street Bets today. This was really, really sad to see as well. Vince says Meet Kevin bought those puts and made 13,000 in 3 minutes. I did see that. Meet Kevin did buy some SMCI puts, and yeah, he literally, I think he took like $1,200 and turned it into 13,000, something like that. So he was definitely gambling on some puts, and those gambles absolutely paid off. SMCI is down 18%. This person made a post on Wall Street Bets. He said, somebody, some whale out there, please come in and give us a big green candle on SMCI. Please send this thing back up so I can sell and just break even or only lose 20,000. As you can see on this portfolio, the day's gains down at negative 71,000. I think he's down more because SMCI was at like 817 when he posted this. SMCI is now at 806. And so this guy is not getting the whale to come bring SMCI back up. This one's done. $71,000. His portfolio is 90,000, so 77% of his portfolio is done for. Now, what did he do? How did this exactly happen? Let me pull this up right here to show you guys. But he had expirations on today. So he had $1,000 strike calls, meaning he thought SMCI would be $1,000 today. And that means those contracts expired today, which means if the stock is not at your strike price today, you lose the money today. And that's the really tough part here. So this right here is a nice screenshot. The RSI on SMCI was at 97. Now, take a look at this. There is only one company in the history that has managed to mark a daily close with a daily RSI above 97. Only one company besides SMCI that has managed to have a daily close with a daily RSI above 97, and that was GameStop on January 27th, 2021. Supermicro had not had a single down day since February 2nd and is now 252% in 2024. They only had 5 red days in this entire trading year. The only stock that had a run like that was back in 2021, GameStop. So you know how we've been talking about, oh, this feels like 2021, but it's not really 2021 because the company's growing. GameStop's like not, the same as SMCI. GameStop was like fighting against the hedge funds. SMCI is just kind of like this weird AI play that's taking off. From a pure risk reward scenario in terms of the RSIs, it absolutely was 2021 because those that got puts on GameStop in 2021 on that day, the day after it closed above that on our RSI, it saw it come down. Now, did Vlad have something to do with that? Sure. But outside of that, obviously GameStop was a bit overbought, and we could argue that SMCI also was overbought. Daniel Dibb says man lost his life earnings for gambling. That is correct. I mean, he basically lost his life earnings. Well, that's his entire portfolio. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how old the guy is. I don't know if he's, in his 30s, 40s, or his 20s. But it's tough, dude. It's really tough to see stuff like that. And there are people in the world that will do crazy things like that. Like I could understand kind of buying options on SMCI and seeing if it plays out. But if you're going to buy options the day they expires, I think he bought them a couple of days ago. They expired this week. I mean, it's a really scary game. It's a really, 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 really scary game. And to put them at $1,000 strike too, when it's like you're basically saying, hey, this will be $1,000, and it just cost $1,000 a couple of days ago, right? So it's like yesterday. So it's like you're saying it's going to stay at all-time highs or it's going to supersede all-time highs. And if it does, you make a lot of money. But like it's already up 300% in the year. So it's like maybe that won't happen. And that's a tough bet. And as a result of that, it ended up coming down. Jonathan, thank you for being here. John, thank you for being here. Mikkel, Ned, hi from London. Hello, Ned. Thank you for being here from London. That's my mom and I were thinking of going to the UK in the spring for like a spring break type of week. She wanted to take me somewhere because we haven't really traveled together in like 5-7 years. So I might be coming to London. It would be really fun to maybe we do a little meetup for people that are in London. That would be super fun to come to the UK and eat some fish and chips with the Brits. That'd be pretty fun. That'd be cool. SMCI right now, $811, down 19%. All right, Palantir. Let's talk about Palantir. And then I want to talk about some moves I made in the market today. Palantir down $24.44. Why is it at this level? Well, honestly, it was a tough day in the macro. We had 2 pieces of news that were really bad. And those 2 pieces of news were PPI data and then housing data. So to quickly summarize, PPI data came in hotter than expected, 2% month-over-month inflation. The market wanted 1.6. We were at 1.8 last month. So we went above not only market expectations, but from last month. So we reaccelerated on both of those ends. That made the market kind of cool off a little bit. And then housing data, we have had the lowest amount of houses in supply since April of 2020. That means less houses, more demand for those houses. House prices have to go up, which means more people have to pay money for those houses. That causes more shelter inflation. Shelter was 50% of the overall CPI inflation in the report we got on Tuesday. Those 2 pieces of macro data ended up messing with the market, and a lot of stocks ended up falling down. Palantir at 24.45. S&P, I mean, look, it's down 0.5%, but it really wasn't affected that much today. So that data was bad. It wasn't horrendous, but it definitely wasn't good. And it messed with the market a little bit. And as a result of that, you got stocks like Palantir that have run up a lot. You get people to take some profits, which makes sense. People obviously want to take some profits when you get really bad data. On top of that, this is a 3-day weekend. Monday is President's Day, so people don't want to hold their gains over the weekend as well. And so that's a little bit of the issue that's coming on right now with Palantir. Now, one quick stat I want to show you guys, unless this S&P 500 closes at 5,002, so 502 on the SPY, and the next, in this case, 6 minutes, it will end the longest streak of 14 out of 15 green weeks since 1972. We have had 14 out of 15 green weeks, which means for the past basically, what is that? Almost 4 months, we have had green. And basically, if we don't get to 502 in the next 6 minutes, it will end that streak since 1972. Well, I'm looking at 499.06. I don't know if there's that many buyers in the next 6 minutes here, 499.5. So if we don't get to 502, which is at least a little bit over 1% up right now, then we're not going to get to that point, which I think the market's kind of like, that's okay. We probably need to cool off a little bit. It's been pretty rough. Maybe we just take a little bit of a chill pill. 430 on the QQQ. That's down from 439. IWM at 201. IWM I thought would take a bigger hit. Like the inflation data we got was horrible today in the context of small caps, right? And the reason for that is because small caps are unprofitable. They need interest rates to come down. They need quantitative easing in order to be able to appreciate, right? In order for the market to give them investment dollars, for the market to feel like these companies have a chance to win. And if inflation is still an issue, interest rates are still an issue, small caps will do bad. I'm surprised the IWM in particular, Russell, is not down like 2-3%, but that's only down 1.32% today. Coinbase maintained its gains of 8.76%, and Coinbase took Robinhood to $14. It was very, very exciting to see Robinhood at $14 today for the first time since January 2022. And the reason I think it's happening is because of Coinbase. Number one, I think Robinhood is just meant it was time for it to break out, right? And we're seeing the breakout happen. But also, if Coinbase is getting their crypto revenues go up, then the entire market's like, well, what else is going to get exposure to crypto that's not 6x'd in the past year? Robinhood has gone up 50% in the past, month, which is really nothing since it was at $8 for a very long time. So the market basically decided, all right, then, we'll give Robinhood some of that love. And as a result of that, that's what happened to Robinhood. Now, here's the decision I made after I got off the market open. I think probably like 30 minutes after I got off the market open. I had 150 contracts in my Roth. We sold them at a 60% gain. So these contracts, remember, we paid, how much did we pay? We paid 76 cents for these contracts. Or sorry, 52 cents for these contracts. These contracts I executed getting rid of 75 out of the 150 at 85 cents. Now, currently, these contracts are 91 cents. So right now the contracts are up 72%. We sold them at a 60% gain. So we could have made like 500 more bucks if we just waited probably like another 30 minutes. But we sold these at like 1380. When the market broke out to 14, that's when the contracts went up. My goal here was saying, all right, we made $2,400 on this trade. Made 2,400 bucks. My goal here was saying, all right, if we get a short-term pullback from 14, these contracts are going to go back down to 60 cents. We're going to make barely 10% on the money. So let's at least lock in some money right now in the Roth. This is tax-free because it's in the Roth. But let's let the other 75 ride. And the reason we got to let the other 75 ride is because Robinhood seems like in the next 3 minutes, it's going to close above 14 bucks, which is, okay, it's at 14.00 right now. It better not go down to 13.99, dude. If it does that, we've stayed over here for basically 3 hours. It hit a top of 14.36. If we can close above 14 for today and for the next like 2 trading weeks, we're on our way to 17. We are on our way to 17. And if Bitcoin continues to do what Bitcoin's doing, 51.8 still holding strong at that kind of 52 level. Bitcoin makes a run at 54. Robin is getting to 15, 16 bucks. It's just happening. So, and if some of the markets like, what, Coinbase 6x, we don't want that much exposure to Coinbase. If there's not that much alpha, where else can we get crypto trading revenue? Boom, you go to Robinhood. And we might get some momentum there. So we're going to see what ends up happening. But that is why we let the rest of those contracts kind of ride out. And we'll see where it goes. Who lost 70K? Someone on Wall Street Bets who bet $1,000 call options for SMCI expiring today. Obviously, SMCI is not $1,000. And that's why, there you go. 803 down. Dude, it's about to be, if it falls under 800, that would be intense for SMCI, dude. That would be intense. It's a tough game in the markets. It's a very tough game, especially when you're gambling with these options on these stocks, like just randomly, right? It's really, really, really tough here. So this is what we see on SMCI. We got about 2 minutes until the market closes, and we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Celsius up 1.53%. They got upgraded at some bank. I'm forgetting the name of the bank. I'll pull up the screenshot in a second, to 67 bucks. So they got an upgrade. That's helping Celsius right now. Coinbase still up 8%. Tesla 199. So Tesla basically flat on the day, but definitely didn't continue its run. Let's look at the Mag 7. I didn't get a chance to actually look at these. Yeah, all of them are red. Look at that. NVIDIA down, Amazon down, Google. I did not know Google was down 1.5%. I didn't look at that today. So Google we did well on the Google sell. We did really well. That was a gut feeling, and we just executed at 149. We said, screw this, we're out. Meta 473. Zuck's just dropped a new interview. I was listening to a little bit of that, and the amount of shade he's throwing at Apple is quite hilarious. So we'll talk about that. And then Microsoft at 403. Apple right now at 182. So we got about 30 seconds left till the market closes, and then we'll see what ends up happening in the after hours for the rest of the day. And then we have no market on Monday. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but we'll have to wait all the way until Tuesday till we get a market again. All right, 4 p.m. Friday, February 16th. Thank you, everybody, for being here. The stock market is now closed. All right, here we go. The stock market is now closed. S&P closes today at 499.48. 499.48 on the S&P, closing below 502. The S&P has officially ended 14 out of 15 weeks of a green streak, the longest streak since 1972. Where is Palantir? Palantir, 24.46, down 3.74% of the day. Again, it feels so privileged to be like, oh man, we're down 3. It's like, dude, we're at 24.4. Like, we were at 16 not even 2 weeks ago. So really, there's not much we can say other than like, yeah, it's down a little bit, but it is what it is. There was some bad macro data, and that's what happened. DraftKings, we'll talk about that in a little bit. That's up 0.25% on the day. Dollar General was up 5% on the day. IWM Russell, again, down 1.37% on the day. Trade Desk ended up going up 17%. Dropbox took a hell of a beating, down 22%. They reduced their guidance, and their argument to the street was that consumers are becoming more like weary of spending, right? And that was kind of their argument for why they had decreased demand. Robinhood closes on 14 on the dot. So let's see if it can hold that after hours, but it closes at 14 on the dot. First time it's closed at this level in 2 years, which is absolutely incredible price action for Robinhood. Now, in terms of, and now it's at $13.99 after hours. So of course, that it is what it is. But what was I going to say on Dropbox? Now, the thing about Dropbox, I don't think it's just about consumers. I think it's about people not really caring about Dropbox. Like Google Drive is free. You know what I mean? And I know Dropbox has some free versions, but everyone's already on Google. I use Dropbox. I think I pay for a Dropbox account, but the far majority of consumers don't need Dropbox. Like they can use a lot of other things for storage. So I think that's less of a consumer thing, more so of like maybe we just don't need that product as much as a lot of people think that they do. Glitch Life, shout out to Glitch Life. That is an OG subscriber. They were here when we were in November 2021 or something, with a couple thousand subs. So Glitch Life, thank you for being here. I sold 1/4 of my Palantir today. Okay, so we got someone who liquidated 25% of their Palantir position. Not the worst thing in the world. Look, in my opinion, I know it's cliche, but you don't go broke taking profits. And I think Palantir is obviously elevated at these prices. My philosophy here is that, look, at this point, I am not concerned about taking profits or even thinking of anything in regards to Palantir that needs profits, because I don't need the money in the context of Palantir. And as a result of that, we're just going to let it play out. We're going to let this thing play out. We're going to buy it whenever we want to buy it. Let it go. Let it ride. 2030. This is the one stock we don't want to play with. Now, options, I sold some options on Palantir, right? So we made some money there. But the rest of it, just let it go. Let it ride. Glitch Life says they bought DNA. So you sold some Palantir, bought DNA. DNA is what actually, Glitch Life is the person who introduced me to Ginkgo Bioworks, and that's when I started getting deep into it. Again, I don't like the valuation. I don't like the lack of growth in their sell programs. And I really don't like management in those certain way they've been operating. So to me, I would not buy Ginkgo Bioworks right now, but it's a very exciting company. It's definitely in Glitch Life. You're the one who told me it's like a 20-year hold, but this could be like a 20, 30x on Ginkgo Bioworks if it ends up working out. Now, what could have also 20 or 30x your money and you didn't have to wait 20 years was SMCI puts that were expiring today. But if you did not buy those, then you did not 20x your money today or 15x your money. SMCI ends the day at 20%, 803. It actually went down to 950 and then tried to make a recovery back to like the 980 level, but it wasn't enough. There were just too many sellers and it ended up falling off. Robinhood, $13.99 after hours. Trade Desk, $89, $88, $93. Google, $141, ends red on the day. Enphase, down 3% on the day. Lyft, down 5.89% on the day. And then Twilio, down another 4%. Twilio down basically 20%. For the end of the week. So that is where it's down. What do we got here in the chat? Where's CleanSpark? CleanSpark. I haven't looked at that one today. I think that's like 1786. That one was up 4% on the day. CleanSpark hit a high of 1923. It had a lot of people selling. Volume today on CleanSpark was 33 million, which is insane for a cryptocurrency miner. That's just that only is happening because obviously we're seeing what's going on with Bitcoin. Let's look at some of the crypto stocks. Then we'll talk NVIDIA. MicroStrategy was down 3% today. CleanSpark was up a little bit. Coinbase obviously was up 8%. Robinhood back to 1402 after hours. Marathon barely down today. Nothing happened there. Riot barely down as well. So crypto kind of just chilled today. It had a good week and it kind of just relaxed. More volatility we saw in the broader market and definitely in Mag 7 today as the market kind of chilled a little bit before heading into the weekend. So that's what we saw today. Carrie says, appreciate you, Mick. Carrie, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for joining me on a Friday. Benny says, what price can we expect CleanSpark to fall back to? The thing about CleanSpark that's interesting is that it is staying at these elevated. Remember, CleanSpark went to 650 from 13 when Bitcoin went from 49 to 38. So to me, like there's probably a ton of technicals you can look at to CleanSpark, but at the end of the day, it is purely an argument around Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin starts to come down a little bit more, CleanSpark's gonna come down. If Bitcoin starts to go higher, CleanSpark's gonna go higher. Now it's gonna be sold off a lot as it goes higher because people are gonna want to take their profits and get out. But if Bitcoin keeps going up, remember the business model behind CleanSpark and all the miners is that they mine Bitcoin. So the value of Bitcoin goes up, the value of their assets on their balance sheets, because they literally mine the coins, go up. So the question, the variable cost simply becomes, how much does it cost the company to be able to mine the Bitcoin? And CleanSpark has the lowest costs in the entire industry. And they've figured out how to fix those costs at close to about 20 grand, which is a great margin. If Bitcoin gets to 60 grand, 70 grand, 80 grand, those costs aren't changing. Now, the halving event is going to cut their reward in half. But if Bitcoin's value keeps going higher, which is supposedly what's supposed to happen after the halving event, and it's happened in the past 4 or 5 times we've seen the halving event, then it doesn't matter because those margins stay the same because the value of Bitcoin goes up. So the delta between the value of Bitcoin and their cost of mining actually expands if the Bitcoin value goes up. So from that perspective, I think CleanSpark is fine as long as Bitcoin's fine. If CleanSpark's not fine, if Bitcoin's not fine. So I think it's going to be hard to try to time the dip because it's really just a question of where Bitcoin ultimately goes. Okay, I think we need to talk about NVIDIA. We need to talk about NVIDIA. Tesla says, just got in a little late. Have you talked about Hood? Yes, we talked about Hood closing at about $14. But real quick, before we go to NVIDIA, let me just quickly show this one thing I tweeted on Robinhood. Again, if you are not following me on Twitter, in the description, please make sure to be following me on Twitter. Okay, so the only slide you really need to know when it comes to Robinhood. By the way, Vlad liked my tweet today. So shout out to Vlad. Some people were there on the market open. If you saw, if you weren't, Vlad liked my tweet. I wanted to cry. It was really nice that he liked my tweet. And he liked my tweet like 10 minutes before we hit $14, dude. It was amazing. Okay, so Q2 2021. Crypto revenues on Robinhood were $233 million. This was more than 50% of their total transaction-based revenues. Look at this slide. So Q2 2021, you see the dark green right under 451? That's crypto. That's crypto. Then you have options, then you have equity. So this is what I'm trying to say. Since 2024, this is why I've been so obsessed with this company. You have gold subscription revenue, media business revenue, cash sweep revenue, net interest income revenue, UK, EU expansion, lowest fees on the market to buy and sell Bitcoin, deposits picking up faster than ever because of their IRA and brokerage match, and it's GAAP profitable. So if crypto goes through its cycle with the Bitcoin halving event coming up, likely leading to all-time highs or close to that, what do you think is going to happen to Robinhood's crypto revenue? The street basically said it's going to go up a lot, which is why they bought Coinbase. And that's why Robinhood went up 5%. And so to me, this is what the thesis needs to be long Robinhood. Because if crypto is going to do well, then Robinhood also is probably going to do well this cycle as well. Vlad doesn't run his account. That's so mean. I'm sure Vlad runs his account, dude. If Vlad doesn't run his account, I'm going to cry, dude. If that's a bot, if that's his freaking social media people liking my posts, it has to be Vlad, dude. It has to be Vlad. He doesn't like a lot of posts. I never checked his likes though. Next thing you know, I check his likes and he's just liking every random thing that tagged Robinhood. That would be so sad. It would be so sad. Okay, let's talk about NVIDIA. So I want to play this clip. This is actually a really good clip. I'll pause it in between. But let's hear some people kind of talk about new price targets on NVIDIA and why next week, February 21st, is going to be so important for NVIDIA. Here we go.
A little bit, but let's dig deeper now because, of course, this other big test for the market does come next week when NVIDIA reports. And today, there's this new batch of bullish street commentary ahead of that print. So Christina Portsanellis joins us now with the details. Christina, go through what all these bulls are saying ahead of actually getting the numbers.
The big question today is who has the bigger price target? And today it is Loop New Street at $1,200. That's 65% upside from yesterday's close. There's others that threw an $850 today. Oppenheimer. They think, and this is Loop, They think NVIDIA will not only beat expectations, but will provide more upside to its full fiscal year 2025 estimates because they are at the front end of this GPU generative AI cycle. Yes, there is competition, and they believe that it's still far out enough that NVIDIA will benefit from the first mover advantage. Analysts also writing, we're gonna party like it's 1995 with the dot-com bubble, coming just a few years later. So is that a good sign to put that as the title of your note?
I don't know.
But especially when NVIDIA's share price has literally climbed $542 in just 1 year alone. And we can't speak of price appreciation without bringing up Supermicro, the real winner this year. Its share price has gone from $95 to over $1,000 at yesterday's close. It's down today on an equal weighted report from Wells Fargo, pointing out to some competition from competitors. The stock is down 12%. This is a company that designs server racks and storage clusters. It's known for power efficiency, all the more important when we're building out these large language models. But Supermicro is reliant on NVIDIA. Wells Fargo points out that 68% of total Q2 purchases came from NVIDIA in 2024. Another big customer could be CoreWeave for Supermicro, which NVIDIA is a big backer. Notice how
you hear this? So the core customer of SMCI is NVIDIA. And then another core customer, the second customer that buys Supermicro's server racks, is a company backed by NVIDIA, which is why February 21st is going to be the reckoning for AI, the stock market, if the earth is going to collapse or not. Like, that day is going to be the day that determines pretty much everything that happens, I think, at least over the next few months in the markets.
Everybody's connected back to NVIDIA. And last but not least, I have to keep the theme going, right? Speaking of NVIDIA, ARM's share price has soared as well, counts NVIDIA as an AI investor, as an investor. ARM makes the designs for chips found in everything from computers, phones, fridges, you name it. And they say that they're going to benefit from all of these products shifting over to the AI revolution. But that shift hasn't necessarily started yet. But the price appreciation in this stock has just skyrocketed. And I think that's the theme.
I mean, look at this.
And Joe, you briefly maybe mentioned it today or previously, that theme that it's forget the beat on the earnings current cycle, or even the following cycle guidance, but it's just like, what are they going to say about growth in the next year, 2 years? We need that sustainability to keep that conviction in the market for this AI trade. And that's what NVIDIA can show us next week.
So much hanging on that report. Bill, I know you don't own NVIDIA, but you do own ARM.
I do own NVIDIA.
Oh, you do
it's
own
actually
NVIDIA.
our number 4 position.
Oh, thank you for correcting.
I've been right. It's been a big leader of ours for a while, and we've had to kind of just work through managing that from a portfolio standpoint. And we cut it by a third ahead of AMD's earnings, and it's right back into number 4. It went down to number 9. Now it's number 4. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm excited for these earnings. I think, though, when it comes to everybody's expecting something, we've continued to see price targets rise and rise and rise. It creates and feeds speculation, and that speculation needs to unwind. And again, I don't want to get too much in the weeds, but I'm looking at the call skew here. There's a lot of calls being purchased. People sell those calls, the market makers do, and those things have to start to unwind once that risk is known of earnings. If it's not an absolute blowout, but even if it is a blowout, I think some of that could unwind and we go through a consolidation similar to what we had after August. But overall, though, I don't think it derails the entire play here. I think the AI play is going to continue to build as the year unfolds. We do own ARM as well, and it's a small position in ARM to start, and right away it took off. I'm more or less just kind of waiting for this to consolidate. I know there's a lot of speculation out there about ARM with the I think it's a March 12th lockup period that ends for holdings. It's off bank. And I think some of that is something that you have to be aware of in some of these stocks like an ARM, or you're watching a super microcomputer, the volatility that these things happen. And it's just to continue to fuel a lot of speculation, but it's important.
Okay, we're going to go back to that video, but now I want to show you this in terms of NVIDIA, right? So they're talking about NVIDIA, price targets, all this stuff that's going on. Here's what Loop says. Loop Capital, okay, they're projecting $175 billion of revenue. I think NVIDIA right now is doing like 40 billion, something like that, by full year 2026. That's just kind of insane, dude. That's how much they think their data center revenue. They think by 2026 end of year, they're going to be doing $159 billion of revenue from their data centers, $175 billion top line. 2025, they think they're going to be doing $117 billion of revenue in data centers. This is Loop Capital's projections. $132 billion for the full year. Now, the Wall Street consensus estimates are 91 billion for data center revenue for full year 2026 and 109 billion. So Loop has a delta of 60%. And the reason I'm showing what Loop Capital thinks is not that Loop Capital is right, but it's that there are some firms on the street that have done the numbers, and from their projections, this is what makes a market, right? Someone has to be right, someone has to be wrong. Their argument is actually you guys are not bullish enough. This thing is going way bigger than what you think it is. In fact, it's going to go 60% bigger. And if a company's doing 175 billion in revenue, I mean, Amazon is what, at 500 billion in revenue, and they're at almost a $2 trillion market cap, but they have like they do 40 billion in net income per year. Like their margins kind of suck, right? Because it's e-commerce. NVIDIA's margins are not going to suck. If they're doing 175 billion in revenue, you're looking at $3-4 trillion valuations. Like that's inevitably what it's going to look like. Now, do they get to 175 billion? No one knows, but that's kind of the euphoria that's going on in the market. And maybe it's not euphoria. Maybe it's real based on kind of how the market thinks it's going to go. All right, let's go back to the video and then we'll move on.
To manage your risk and know what you're expecting out of this. And that's why we're positioning sizing in something like ARM small enough that we can withstand the volatility, but we plan to hold it for 3 to 5 years. I think that thing could 4x over that time, if not more.
Wow. How are you managing? You have both in your JOT.
From an industry perspective, semiconductors are by far our largest holding.
Okay.
We're momentum based, and we're tracking also quality as a factor. So yeah, semiconductors are going to be right up there. I think first in the case of Supermicro, it could be a little bit of both arguments. It can be, yes, they have the relationship with NVIDIA, so that's a fundamental catalyst. Then it also can be what Mike Santoli's done a great job talking about the last several days, a little bit of a return to that speculative behavior that we saw in 2021. And keep that in mind, because the IWM ETF, which is equally weighted, right now, wherever IWM is going to trade, is where Supermicro is going to take it, because Supermicro is 1% of that actual ETF, whereas the rest.
Did you catch that? Supermicro is 1% of the Russell 2000. People forget about that. So the Russell 2000 and SMCI are also things that are kind of interlocked with each other, and NVIDIA is going to determine kind of both of where these companies or the ETF and the company ends up going.
Of the holdings are only 35 basis points. So you have to keep that in mind. In the case of NVIDIA, where it sits right now, obviously we have ownership. I would not put fresh capital into NVIDIA at this price. NVIDIA could go to 1,000. At some point, you'll be able to find a dip. You'll be able to get the opportunity if you have fresh capital to put into NVIDIA. But I don't think that defeats overall what's a really strong story for semiconductors. And you saw that last night with Applied Materials.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they are the largest semi-equipment maker in the United States. You had some insight from KLA Corp and from Lam Research. It was going to be good. And for the dynamic random access memory chips, this demand from China was incredibly strong. And the outlook, to your point, they were confident that that's going to continue.
So he's talking about AMAT, Applied Materials. We talked about them yesterday. Yeah, these guys are a crucial company in the semiconductor space, and they were up 6% on the day. They were actually up 10% yesterday after hours, so they ended 6% on the day. And we got some bad macro data, so the fact that they ended green was pretty good. Supermicro, $800.90 right now after hours. So I think the core point to take away from that clip is that it really depends on NVIDIA. A lot of this stuff is interlocked with NVIDIA. SMCI's biggest customer is NVIDIA. Their second biggest customer is backed by NVIDIA. And the street is projecting, if NVIDIA is doing $175 billion in revenue by 2026, if we can just step out and imagine that, SMCI is not going to be at $800. SMCI is going to be much, much larger than that, because the only way NVIDIA gets to $175 billion is if SMCI is supplying them with the data servers, right? Like the racks for those servers. So this is a really important story, and either the ultra bulls are going to be right about where NVIDIA is going, or not the bears, but just the skeptics of that growth continuing, that demand continuing, are going to be right. And if you had to put a gun to my head and say, Hamid, who would you bet on? I would bet on the ultra bulls, because when I listen to Jensen Huang, and maybe this is a little bit more naivete, but he's not been wrong for the past 5 years on where the world is going. When someone like Sam Altman is trying to raise $7 trillion, and yesterday he tweeted, oh, why don't I just do $8 trillion? Like he was messing around, which is hilarious. The fact that it's even like a question, you could raise $8 trillion. This world is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And when it comes to AI, I was listening to Sam Altman talk today at the World Government Conference, and his argument was just simple. He was just like, AI is going to be in part of everybody's life, whether it's through education, medicine, whatever it may be. And the level of computational power you're going to need is going to be so unbelievably massive that we can't wrap our heads around it. And the Uber bulls on the street are essentially thinking, all right, well, that means NVIDIA is going to grow. And they're either going to be right or they're going to be wrong. And so we're going to see what ends up happening from there. Did Chris short SMCI? No, he did not short SMCI. Chris never shorts any company. But he did have SMCI when it was at like $90, and he would have been sitting on $1 million right now. But he sold for $100,000 profit, which is a great profit. He made like a 2x, but it would have been $1 million. But again, who would have thought this thing would go up to $1,000 a share, right? Sam wants 8 trillion now. Yeah, Sam wants 8 trillion. Oh, here's another piece of news. A couple of things I want to show you guys. So, Bitcoin inflows are doing really well. 9 new Bitcoin ETFs now hold 258,000 Bitcoin in total. They're buying an average of 10,000 Bitcoin a day. This is why Bitcoin went from 38,000 to 52,000. This is after the GBTC outflows that you're seeing in the red right here. And ever since January 26th, it's just been inflows, which is, again, 11x the daily issuance from the block reward. That means these ETFs are buying 11x the amount that the miners are even able to mine from the computers for Bitcoin, which is just incredible. And that lets you know, I mean, that right there gives you a little bit of a floor to also understand Robinhood and Coinbase's business. Again, TLDR, Bitcoin goes up, Robinhood, Coinbase goes up. If the Bitcoin ETFs are buying this much Bitcoin, then the argument is, and we've already seen it from 38 to 52, that if this is going to continue, the inflows are going to continue, Bitcoin's going to keep going higher, which is why Robinhood and Coinbase are going to correlate with that. The miners are going to correlate with that. It just has to play out. And so far, it's already played out. If it just continues, and then the fundamentals of the business have to be intact, right? Like, you don't want to bet on a shitty miner. CleanSpark is a good miner. You don't want to bet on a crappy brokerage. Robinhood is a really good brokerage. Same with Coinbase. And so if those theses play out, we're going to see more momentum in those companies. Another piece of news, we saw this on the market open, but if you did not catch this, money market funds decreased by $4.29 billion this week. It is a small amount, but at the end of the day, $4.2 billion said we are leaving this 5.5% return that we're getting in 1 year. And maybe they're seeing the S&P return 5%. Maybe they're seeing SMCI get 200% in 5 weeks, and they're like, we cannot have our money stuck here. So I don't know. I mean, next week is going to be very important for money markets, because if we see a second week of decreasing, maybe it is time for money from money market funds to start playing in the big leagues. Or if we see a reversal to increasing, maybe we're at a top and people are getting a little scared and then taking the money out. So the next week or two, we will see kind of what those arguments look like. Addy says, does anyone think Palantir can be the next SMCI in 4 years? The reason I don't think this is necessarily going to happen, it's a very simple reason, actually. It's not that complicated. It's like the most simplest reason in the world for why this is not complicated. Palantir has 2 billion shares outstanding, right? So if Palantir has 2 billion shares outstanding, it's a bit tough for Palantir to have the type of momentum that SMCI has. Remember, SMCI has 55 million shares. 5 million shares of those are sold short, and a lot of the shorts are covering. Palantir, unless it gets to a 13, 15, 17% short float like SoFi right now, they're never going to get a short squeeze, right? Palantir has like a 6.26% short float. So I doubt this would ever happen to Palantir unless the growth gets to like 70, 80% top line year over year. Then, yeah, you're going to see this happening because the market's just going to chase AI. But in terms of the actual shares, like, the one crappy thing about Palantir is they have 2 billion shares, dude. They have a lot of freaking shares. Volume ended today at 64 million. That's the lowest volume we had in 2 weeks. So we don't have enough volume. The shares are not going to move. It takes time to get those shares to move, which means you need catalysts. And usually those catalysts end up being big contracts or earnings videos as well. New video out by Palantir. Okay. Thank you, Midwest, for that. Let's go to their channel. Let's see what they have to say. Bayray says, how did you like my tweet while you are doing the live stream? Well, Bayray, you know how? It was a bot. Okay. It was a bot. Just like you said, Vlad liking my tweet was a bot. This was a bot. Okay. It was a bot. So I didn't even like it. It was a bot. Don't worry about how I liked it. Okay. So Palantir put out a 44-minute video with Carp. We're probably not going to be watching the whole thing here. I'll probably do a Palantir deep dive and we'll watch the whole thing. But yeah, this is a whole type of conference. So Munich Security Conference. That's what Carp did. I think this is the same conference he did back in February of 2022. It was a little bit of a different setting, but I think it's the same conference. So this is interesting. I'll be excited to hear this, but yeah, we're probably not going to watch this right now. There you go. You got a new Carp interview out as well. We got 2 Carp interviews in 1 week. Not bad. Not bad at all. Steve says shares outstanding only matter in conjunction with the share price to calculate market cap. Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, here's the thing. Shares outstanding are not the single biggest metric to determine like the ability for a stock price to necessarily go up. It is one of those metrics, but what really matters is liquidity of shares outstanding. So how many of the shares are bought versus how many of them are kind of available and how many of them are actually available on the open float, how many of them are being shorted, etc. Now, in the context of Palantir versus SMCI, I'm just talking about high level. SMCI is 55 million shares. That means there are only 55 million of these things available for people to buy and sell. Someone has to sell them, someone has to buy them. For Palantir, there's 2 billion. So if you're talking about Palantir going from 24 to 50 to 70 to 90 to 100 to 120 to 140 in the span of like, what is it? 3 months, which is basically what SMCI did, right? 100, 200, 300, 500. Now it's like 800. You need a lot of people chasing a small amount of shares. And if you have a lot of people, like 75 million people every day trading Palantir shares, but there's 2 billion shares outstanding, there still needs to be an excessive amount of volume in order to get all those shares to constantly be excited to be able to be acquired. So Bayray says, yeah, I think of Bitcoin in 21 million coins, but not all of them are on the market and available to trade. Yeah, I agree. Not all of them are there and able to be traded as well. So look, the float does not matter the most in the context of moving a stock or not, but it does matter when there is an absurd divergence, and like the way I understand it, between 55 million shares and 2 billion shares, right? Especially if you don't have enough volume chasing those 2 billion shares at all. So that's what I'd be thinking. P. Morton says more contracts equal more employees equals more stock-based compensation and dilution. Yeah, that's also something. And the thing about Palantir's free cash flow is they're generating really good free cash flow, but they're also diluting with stock-based compensation. So that's another thing we have to think about when it comes to their free cash flow, because that free cash flow also does not stack up fully against their stock-based compensation. And so from that perspective, I factored in my DCF model about 3% dilution year over year. And so far, I think that's been correct. As long as that doesn't massively increase, we shouldn't have a ton of shares continue to be outstanding. SMCI under 800. Oh my. There you go. Well, it's at 800.03. 800.03 on SMCI. Peach says, thank you for the $5 super chat. $5 towards SoFi options. SoFi's been in a tough situation right now as well. Where's SoFi? 838. SoFi's maintained its $8 range. It was actually down at 790 in the beginning of the week, but now it's 838. So it is up a little bit more. It is up a little bit more right now on the day. What's interesting about SoFi is that it moved less as like fintech, more with the market. You had Affirm, PayPal not really do that well this week as well, kind of showing the divergence between PayPal as a fintech versus SoFi as a fintech. The market was just more excited about SoFi, even both of those are fintechs. But in general, fintechs have, unless they had a really good catalyst, they have not had the best year. Let's take a look at DraftKings CEO. We'll talk about him after he speaks, but he's made a pretty compelling case for why the company had a great earnings, and we'll talk about why they were flat for the day.
Thank you. Yes.
So first on the quarter and just the business, it seems like the business is healthy. The misses were largely about, customer winnings. Take us through what happened here.
Oh, I mean, we had the worst 2-week run of NFL outcomes that we've had since we've been a public company. So, that happens sometimes in the short term. The nature of the business when you're taking risk on sport outcomes is you're going to have customer-friendly outcomes, and it always kind of swings back over time. And so, that was really at the underlying fundamentals of the business. All the core value drivers were super healthy. We had incredible customer engagement, customer acquisition strongly outperformed expectations. So really everything was clicking on all cylinders. We just had a few bad sport outcomes, but that'll happen. And, that was really what gave us the confidence to make a 15% increase in our bottom line guide for this year.
How about the competition? How's that been affecting you? I mean, the stock has done well. You said the business is in good shape, but just more and more entrants and some of the big players like MGM and Caesars. And it's not just you and FanDuel anymore, Fanatics entering the game. How do the competitive dynamics shake out, and just how much is this addressable market?
Well, most of those competitors have been in for many years. And, what we've seen is that best product, best customer experience continues to win. So we feel like if we keep making investments there, that we have upside to our share. we've been able to in the past, even with strong waves of competitive activity, gain share and increase our efficiency. Really, that's all what gave us the confidence to make a significant increase to our 2024 revenue guidance. And, as I noted a moment ago, we increased our adjusted EBITDA guidance by 15%. All of that is really pointing towards healthy underlying drivers, and competition brings out the best in everybody. I actually think it helps drive our company to work that much harder and produce a better customer experience.
But ESPN is fairly new, and Fanatics, those are the two new ones, I guess, in the market.
I wouldn't say Fanatics new. I mean, Fanatics been in the market for a little bit, but ESPN is definitely a new one. But listen, we think, like I said, competition is really great for the market. I think ESPN Bet might actually be growing the market, which is great by bringing new people in. We've seen unbelievably strong customer acquisition over the past quarter. So hopefully that just means that they're bringing new folks into the market. And, listen, we're comfortable competing with anybody. We think that all of our competitors have a lot to offer, but we also feel like we can out execute anybody. So, we think that if we can.
We'll talk more about DraftKings in a second. Their stock is up 152% year to date, not year to date, for the past year. And we'll talk a little bit more about why they did not have the day. A lot of people had $50 call options. They thought the stock could get to 50, which it could have, but they made an acquisition. That's what ended up hurting them. One quick note on the shares outstanding thing, because I got this and I just want to read this because I think this will help explain a lot more. So a big float percentage versus total shares means that there are more shares that are tradable. So again, it's not necessarily, this is what I was saying, it's not necessarily about the number of shares outstanding. It's about the liquidity of those shares, right? So the number of shares is irrelevant in just an absolute sense. There can be some level of relevancy to it, but in an absolute sense, it's relevant because, for example, tomorrow, Palantir can say now each share becomes 100 shares, right? They do a split. And so that doesn't impact the percentage of the float. It just impacts, the number of shares that exist. But the percentage of the float versus what's outstanding is really what matters when it comes to liquidity. So if the float percentage versus outstanding is small, some big buy orders can move the stock because there's a lot of liquidity. But if the float percentage versus how many shares are outstanding is not small, then there's just not enough volume in terms of actual liquidity, like buy side pressure, to move the stock. So again, it's not just about Palantir has 2 billion shares, Supermicro has 55 million shares. It's about the amount of liquidity and the percentage of the float that's being bought up on both of those companies, given both of those companies also have the same market cap, right? And again, so for Palantir, when you've got 67 million shares in volume, the reason they're down 4% of the day is because 3 days ago, they had 150 million shares in volume. So there was just more buy side for the liquidity. We can also look at their order cost distribution right here to get a better understanding of their percentage of shares, of their percentage of the float that was bought. So today, Palantir had $292 million come in, $305 million come out on top of 64 million shares. Versus a company like Coinbase, right? Coinbase had 1.6 billion leave, 1.4 billion come in, and that's why Coinbase is right now down a little bit after hours at 179. So you have a little bit of the divergence there going on. Super Micro, look at that. 5.8 billion came in, 6.5 billion came out. $6.5 billion left the stock today. And as a result of that, that's why it's down. SMCI is up 8.5% for the week, and it is down 20% on the day. $7.99. There you go. $7.99 right there on SMCI. CleanSpark, $17.84. CleanSpark had 167 million leave, 149 million come in. And DraftKings today had basically the same, 336 million come in, 338 million leave out. Now, why is DraftKings not going to the moon after beating on user numbers and beating on guidance? They bought a company again for $750 million. And because they bought Jackpocket, which is an online lottery company, for $750 million, basically shareholders were like, all right, well, if you're going to spend almost $1 billion on this company, we can't really buy the stock. We got to see how this merger works out. We got to see how this thing happens. I think they bought them in cash, if I'm not wrong. I got to go into their earnings again. But I believe they had the cash to do it. They're still not a profitable company, even though they're growing at top line at more than 30% year over year. But yeah, that acquisition was not what the street wanted to see. So that's why it was bad. How are those 100 shares you bought? What 100 shares? Which ones are you talking about? Which 100 shares? What happened to Adobe? Did Adobe have a bad day? I didn't check Adobe. Let's look at Adobe. Adobe. Oh, wow. Down 7%. Why did Adobe go down 7%? I don't know. If anyone knows in the chat, let me know. I'll try to Google them to see what happened real quick. Daniel says, is there a way to lower those 2 billion shares, or is the only way if insiders do buybacks and hold? Yeah, the only way to lower those shares is if they do buybacks. to my understanding, if in a stock market, when you have shares outstanding, the way to lower the amount of shares outstanding, meaning lower the float, not the percentage of float that is bought, that's the liquidity of the float, but just overall lower the float. Yeah, you have to do buybacks. Like Robinhood bought back 55 million shares, right? At $11. Robinhood right now is up on that investment. And they got, people got annoyed at them for doing that. 14 minus 11 divided by 11. They're up 27% on the shares that they bought. And they diluted, they took away from the float about 4.5% of the shares outstanding. So it went from like 943 to like 927, something like that. And it went down, right? And as a result of that, that was good. But Palantir is not going to do that anytime soon, so I don't expect them to do that at all. But if they did do that, that would be exciting. It's just I don't think they would do that right now. Inbound says Adobe is dead with AI. I don't think so, dude. I think Adobe is one of the broader AI plays that exist because of all of the photo editing, video capabilities they have. I mean, again, you can type in "girl on a donkey eating a cheesecake," and then boom, you're going to get that in 2 seconds. Now, I know there's a lot of things out there that can do that, right? With stable diffusion and all that shit. But Adobe has the user base of the people that trust their brand for the past 25 years with Premiere, Photoshop, etc. And so I would imagine that Adobe has a bit of a competitive advantage there when it comes to getting people to pay more for that as well. So I like Adobe. I never wanted to buy the stock, but that's one of the reasons I thought Adobe was exciting. Maybe because of Sora. So for those that don't know, Sora is OpenAI's like text to video model. I mean, 7% is a lot, dude. I would imagine 1 or 2%, but 7% is a bit too much in my opinion for them to be down on that. So I don't think that would be, the reason. I'm going to search up Adobe stock and just see if there's any quick news for why they're down. Oh, wow. I think it's the OpenAI news, dude. It's literally the OpenAI. There's like 5 articles saying Adobe tumbles as OpenAI invades its turf. Look, this OpenAI tool is not even available yet. We don't know when. It's powered by GPT-5. It's probably not coming out, I would say, for the public for like another couple months because they're still trying to get all the bugs out. So that's interesting. The market really thinks Adobe's in a tough position. OpenAI said they're going to release a web search product. Google fell 4% this week. OpenAI, Sam Altman is just coming for everybody, dude. Google right now, 141. Sam Altman is literally just coming for everybody right now. That is insane. That is absolutely incredible. Geostis said sold Adobe at 615. That's nice. I think that was closer to the top. I think 632 was the top. So that's not bad. Oh, the 100 shares you're talking about of SMCI. Those. Yeah, so that 100 shares that I wanted to buy, again, I wanted to buy them yesterday at $950. But then I just realized that I'm trying to walk my way out of it because the whole joke was that you guys didn't let me buy it and I got mad. This is what I was going to do yesterday. I was going to do it. I was going to swipe up. I was going to swipe. And then Robinhood said, you don't have the power to buy. But no, I mean, in all reality, I was not, even today, I was like, should we buy the dip on SMC? I wasn't going to buy it. It was just a joke. But this is a stock where it is run so like magnificently that it almost begs the question of when do you actually get in? And I've looked at a bunch of their earnings analysis. I read the Bank of America report yesterday that said $1,040 a share. It's still hard when a stock's up 10x in 3 months, 4 months to say like, yeah, there's still more momentum there. So that would have been tough. That would have been kind of tough. Good thing you chicken out of SMC. I was never gonna buy it, dude. It's not about chicking out of it. It was a joke. I was never gonna buy SMCI. But it's just wild to see people lose that much money, dude. For those that are just joining Wall Street Bets, someone there lost $70,000 on SMCI today. They're 77% of their portfolio, which is sad. It's really, really tough to see why that happened. Let's get a price target update on Coinbase for $220. This is from Needham Capital. Let's see what they had to say for why they were excited about Coinbase's earnings.
John Todaro is Needham's senior research analyst, joins us now. Has a buy rating on Coinbase and raises his price target to 220. And let me just start there, John, in terms of price target and sort of what gets you there. I think you're working with, and correct me if I'm wrong, a value of about 8 times EV over revenue in terms of a multiple on 24. Why do you think that's appropriate for Coinbase?
Yeah, we actually raised that multiple. What you have now is a very different environment from a few years ago. You now have a Bitcoin ETF out there. It's an institutionalized asset class. that takes some of the risk out of the space. There's a little bit of that regulatory overhang. Coinbase is obviously in that lawsuit with the SEC. We expect more of a favorable outcome on that front as well, though. So we think some of the main concerns that investors had around the story, a lot of that's been de-risked. Another big one, some of the biggest bear points we heard from investors was a Bitcoin ETF. You have these low-cost ETF products. That's going to take share away from Coinbase. But we didn't see that either on commentary from Coinbase management or commentary from Robinhood management. Both said that Bitcoin ETFs have been additive to their Bitcoin direct buying and selling business. So we think some of those big concerns that were overhanging over the stock have been flushed out a little bit.
You don't still think that's going to be a concern, though? I get that there was a lot of excitement around the launch of the ETFs this time, which drove up the price and drove up the enthusiasm around the ecosystem. But going forward, these ETFs are much easier, accessible ways to buy Bitcoin.
I would argue, so you have a Bitcoin ETF. You're likely not to see altcoin ETFs at least for the next few years. So in an environment where Bitcoin does very well, even if they lose some Bitcoin trading share, they're more than going to make up for it in the altcoin volumes. Altcoin, so non-Bitcoin trading, was 71% in Q4 23. It was the highest for any quarter in 2023. We expect that to increase even more if there's a crypto bull market here. Typically, you see that Bitcoin dominance decline, altcoins see higher volume. So even if they do lose some Bitcoin share, we think they more than make up for it on the altcoin volume. And that shouldn't see any fee compression because there's no ETF on altcoins and likely there won't be for the next couple of years.
Basically saying in a crypto cycle, a lot of stupid altcoins are going to go up and Coinbase is going to make money. I mean, that's basically what they're saying, which look, it is what it is. It is. It's a cyclical trade on the brokerages. It's not really an argument to go long, but for now, that's why you buy.
Why would you buy Coinbase as a stock over Bitcoin, the ETF? What's the investment case there?
Yeah, I would say, Coinbase is a little bit levered to more businesses or more products than just Bitcoin. So one, they're a little bit hedged where they have the interest income from USDC. So not only do you have the hedging benefit there, but you also have the growth in payment adoption underpinning that should benefit Coinbase, where Bitcoin, not quite as much. Bitcoin's not really used too much as a currency like stable coins are. So you have that angle. The next is the altcoin activity. So typically in a bull market, which if we are in one, altcoins see greater outperformance than Bitcoin. Coinbase is, once again, a little bit more levered to those altcoins. So if altcoins are outperforming, Coinbase is going to outperform. So it's really a bet for Coinbase. It's more of a bet on total crypto adoption growing. Bitcoin is much more a bet on just Bitcoin.
The same argument I think we've all been making on Coinbase, which is that Bitcoin goes up, the transaction volumes will be fine. The ETFs are additive versus taking away, and they shouldn't necessarily, cause too much harm to the overall cycle this time when it comes to Coinbase. And that Coinbase could go back to all-time highs. If Bitcoin hits all-time highs, Coinbase could go farther than that. But then after, Bitcoin would have to settle in a certain range in order for Coinbase to maintain that momentum. The problem is Bitcoin went from 69 to 15. And so that's why Coinbase went from 445 to 30. If the next time this crashes, Bitcoin goes from, let's say, 90 to 60, then maybe Coinbase goes from 600 to 300, and that's where it settles, right? But that day will come. It just might not come for another 18 months. And until then, we get to enjoy the ride. Roku is down 24% on the day. I think their CEO went on CNBC. We can probably listen to him in a second, but he didn't really make any interesting arguments about what's happening in the business outside of the fact that, they're growing advertising revenue and they're growing hours watched. The thing about, I was talking with someone about this today on Twitter. The thing about Roku is they're trying to go after a market that big tech's going after, and big tech can afford to lose money. So connected advertising on OTT, which is, I think, I have to check the numbers. I don't know if it's as big as digital advertising, but it's a very big market. We're talking about hundreds of billions. They're trying to be the connected system that controls the advertising and the targeting. The problem is, so is Google. And so is a lot of these other big tech players that can lose a lot of money on this, and they don't really care because their other businesses are fine. Roku's a $10 billion company. They can't really afford to lose money, but they're not profitable, right? They're losing money. So that's why it's not necessarily the best for Roku. Okay, I think based on what I'm seeing in this chat, everyone is bored of stocks on a Friday. Barry says, Amit, if we get the stream to 200 likes, you have to do the rest of the stream with your shirt off. Like, no, that's not going to happen. We're not doing that. So we're not doing that. I think everyone is so freaking tired of the stock market this week. We're just like, you know what? It's Friday. Let's just say some ridiculous things in the chat. And I think that's what's going on in this chat right now. Because I love the chat. It's the best chat on YouTube, in my opinion. But it seems like you guys are pretty tired of the stock market. You want to have some fun for the rest of the week. Robinhood 1406 up 4.28% of the day. Look how beautiful that 14 looks on Robinhood, dude. I mean, just look how beautiful it looks on Robinhood. It's just incredible, dude. We haven't seen 14. Look at this chart. Let's do 5 years. Okay, went public, runs up to 55. Down, down, down we go, gently down the stock chart, down, da, 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 da. And so last time we had 14, we had 15 February. So basically, yeah, February 11th. Dude, it's almost on the 2-year mark. Literally like around February 15, 16, we had that $14 range, and then we never saw 14 again. The closest we got was 1350 in December, and now we're finally back there to 1409. So it's been a long time. But now we are back here. Okay, I don't know what's going on in the chat. I have no idea what is going on in the chat. This is now everyone's saying take the shirt off. I'm not taking my shirt off. You guys are, first of all, you guys would be blindsided by my 6-pack, okay? And I don't think you guys want to see the 6-pack because it would make you guys feel ashamed of yourselves for not working hard enough to get a 6-pack. Second of all, I'm not taking off my shirt. Like this is ridiculous. We're not doing this. You guys are crazy. Hood was exceptional this week. Yeah. How much is it up for the week? Wow, 25%, dude. We fucking called Hood. We knew this would happen, and it played out, and it happened. The only regret is I sold 150 calls right before this thing fucking happened, dude. I should have just left those I knew this shit was gonna happen. I could have taken profits like the day after earnings, or right the day earnings open, but I got scared and I was like, what if they turn into an Affirm? It doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like Bitcoin is helping helping Robin to do what they need to do. Who is your wealthiest follower at Amit? I don't know. You guys want to put your net worth in the chat? Does everyone want to put their net worth in the chat? Yeah, you guys said I'm nervous. Everyone put their net worth in the chat. Let's see how nervous everyone gets now. Let's see how the chat reacts now that we got you guys are trying to get me off my game. Yeah, what's everyone's net worth? Let's see some numbers. And don't do no Twitter fingers. Don't lie. Don't say any nonsense. If you say like 7 million, we all know everyone's lying. See, no one's gonna say that. No one's gonna say that. You guys aren't gonna say it. Amit, how much profit are we taking here with Hood? Well, again, I've taken so far like $8,000 of profit in the past 3 days with Hood, and the goal is to let the rest of the position ride. And dude, if Robinhood gets to 18 in like a year, the position should be worth like $115,000 profit. So we made a big bet. And now we just got to see if it happens. We'll probably take the profit before then, dude. If we're up like 70 or 80 grand, if that happens, that's a big if, then I think we'll just take the money. But let's see. It all depends on how the cycle ends up playing out. But I think we took some decent profits this week, and now I think we just let it ride and see how it goes. Okay, Volatile Nomad says he's up 50. All right, so here's what we're going to do. It's Friday, February 16th, 4:47. That's officially an hour into the show. We're going to end the market close here. I'll be on for another 15 minutes to try to deal with whatever this chat has become. But if you want to leave, the market open is over now. If you don't want any more stock market news, you're definitely not going to get any stock market news because I'm going to try to reconcile what's going on in this chat. And if you want to stay for another 15 minutes, you can stay as well. And this is basically detention where I need to deal with the chat. It's after the market close. So thank you everybody for being here. We'll be live with Palantir Weekly on 11 p.m. So please make sure to tune in then. And yeah, Palantir Weekly 11 p.m. That'll be fun. And then what else do we have? And then that's it. That'll be it for today. And then my new video on Daily Palantir. Make sure to watch that. We talked about Palantir's new space contract. That was a good, hopefully some good analysis on that contract. So make sure you check that out. All right, that's it. Market close is officially closed, and I'm going to put a title. I'm going to put a chapter in this video called Detention. We're gonna make this shit detention, dude. This is just. I'll just call it Q&A. We'll just make it Q&A. Shirt off. The shirt's not coming off, dude. You guys are crazy. The shirt's not coming off. After hours, yes, after hours. That's it. After hours. I measure my net worth in Palantir rather than Dolores. That's hilarious. Call it Amit takes his shirt off. Dude, no, we're not doing this shit. We're not doing this shit. What was the Zuck interview? Oh, yeah, I was going to show a clip of the Zuck interview. I mean, I'll post it in the chat. You guys can watch it when you want. But it's just him shitting on Apple. And he's just like, yeah, fuck Apple. Like, literally, he's saying it without literally saying it. He might as well have just said it. He might as well have just said, yo, if I was Zucks, if I was a speaking coach, I would have told him to go on that podcast and say, you know what? Apples aren't even that good. Bananas are better. Like, I would have told him to say that. I think he would have been more personable. I think he would have been more likable. And I think people would have laughed. Because he's already saying fuck Apple. He's basically saying that. He's just not saying it with the level of sort of like rigor you need to have it, and the little jokes you need to sprinkle into that statement. He needs to say that to get the market to really understand how much he hates Apple. Shirt off, or I sell all my Palantir. I mean, you could sell your Palantir. Like, it's not going to affect me. There's going back to shares outstanding. There is plenty of liquidity that is waiting to buy up your Palantir shares. Okay, we got 2 billion shares outstanding. We have a percentage of that float that is liquid enough to say at $24 they will buy up your shares, Garcia. You'll make a nice profit. But I'm not taking my shirt off. I'm not doing that. Do PayPal shares count towards my net worth, or do we assume those are going to be worthless? Dude, fuck PayPal, dude. Absolutely. Like, I hate PayPal. No one clipped this and put this on Twitter, but I hate PayPal. I hate it so much. Now, someone's going to clip this and post it on Twitter, but I am so annoyed by this company. I'm so aggravated by them. And I think they're just super deep value, but like, the shit won't move. It's just not moving. And I think it will by the summer. Like, I really think I'll break even by the summer. But until then, you know, we're in a tough position with PayPal. PayPal made you famous. The betrayal. Yeah. Dude, that Wall Street Bets clip, we watched it yesterday on Finance Junkies. It was epic. It was such a good clip. It's one of those clips that should go down in history for Wall Street Bets. It was such a funny clip. But I just don't like the stock right now. Not at all. Cleveland Clinic article about Palantir. I did see this. I'm going to be reviewing this over the weekend. Let me put my Substack in the description. Subscribe, guys. How many subscribers are we at? Are we at 3K? Are we at 3K? We're at 2,998. We need 2 people to make this to be 3K. I'll cover the Cleveland Clinic stuff in the Substack over the weekend. I did see something about that, but I didn't get to read the whole thing. There's also another consulting partnership Palantir signed with some firm, but I got to read into it again. I didn't get to read it too much today. Subscribe, 2,999. Thank you, Alexander. Means so much. Means a lot. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed. I write the whole thing. ChatGPT doesn't write it, so you can actually read it. Look, for me, I don't have the patience to read like a lot of things, dude. What I read in the morning are articles that I'm really interested in. But like, if I click a random article on like a Wednesday and I'm just on my phone, I'll get through 2 paragraphs and then it's hard, dude. But when I'm preparing for the market open and I'm trying to sound not like an idiot, just trying to sound kind of smart, and I'm going through the earnings reports and shit, I'll read. I'll be excited for that. But in general, that's why I don't subscribe to too many newsletters, because I just don't read them. But we have a 50% open rate. People open these newsletters. Like, let me show you guys this shit right now. People open the newsletter. Almost every newsletter we have gets 50%. So, and I get pretty good feedback. People actually like how I write. And I don't even think I'm that good of a writer, quite frankly. I think I'm a way better talker. Like, look at this. The last one's at 47% because that came out yesterday. So that it takes a day. But look at that. 54, 54, 51, 52, 53. Like, we don't go below 50, bro. Just like Palantir doesn't go below 25, even though today it went a little bit below 25. We don't go below 50. So I think you guys will actually enjoy reading the newsletter if you guys are readers. But I'm not a reader. Michael Wilder got a lunch date. Gotta go. Okay, enjoy the lunch date. Bro just said I can't read. No, I can read. I just like listening, dude. I listen to podcasts so much more than reading. Damien, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that, bro. It means a lot. Thank you for the $5 super chat. How are there 500 people here and only like 20 people chatting? You guys got to remember, dude, when it comes to content, a lot of people just want to sit back and enjoy. They don't want to be like, you guys that are menaces in the chat. You have this, I'm trying to say you're special. Okay. You have a fixation of really interacting, which I love, by the way. There's nothing wrong. I love that. But the far majority of people, like 95% of people, just want to sit back and enjoy the content. And so, yeah, you're not going to have 500 people typing at once. Now, if you have a couple thousand people, maybe that would happen. But even then, dude, like even Meet Kevin streams that where he has a couple thousand people, there's like 30 to 40, maybe 50 core people that are in there typing. So you guys are the OGs. But a lot of people kind of just want to chill. Special needs. Oh my gosh. No, it's actually special. It's just special. Currently at work. Okay. Yeah. Currently, what are you doing? How are you watching the stream? How are you watching this? Are you at work? It's 5 p.m. Everyone should be off work now. Hot tub stream. No, I'm not doing a hot tub stream, dude. What do you got? Like, go to Twitch for that stuff. It's like, this is a stock market analytical argument about the nature of how the equity markets will progress over the next few months. It's not a hot tub stream. I'm at work secretly watching you. Dude, and then we got the lurkers like Namir. Namir should be in the chat because Namir should be in the chat, but he'll just be lurking, just watching every move I make, but he won't say anything. He's the special one. Namir is the special one. Dude, Namir, I got to meet you in person one day, dude. I got to meet you in person. You're at Stanford, right? I should come to California again by the end of this year. If I get to the Bay Area, I'm hitting you up. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. We can hear your high level thoughts while you're in a hot tub. Oh my gosh. What? Barry said watching with my shirt on. Oh my God. Let me give Barry a moment here. He was flexing today in my notifications that I liked while I was, the Barry, the reason the way I liked it is because I had my iPad open. Dude, this keyboard I have with my iPad, this shit is magical. Like, so this is the keyboard and the iPad's right there. And so when I'm typing like on the keyboard, there's something about typing on a wireless keyboard on another device. You just feel productive. Like you just feel like you're cool typing on a keyboard that's wireless. So that's how I was able to respond to your thingy. Okay. So, Bay Ray is up 235% on his Robinhood position. He is looking for 8x or more on these, which is a decent amount. If he makes 800%, that'd be amazing. But this is a $12 call expiring January 2026. I think he bought it when Robinhood was what, $7, $8. So he's waiting for about 5x more on this position, which is not bad. Not bad at all. I don't know. I don't lose. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, this guy's not humble. I'll definitely say this guy is not humble. That is true. Why are you guys saying a hot tub review, dude? What is wrong with everybody? Why would we do a hot tub? Like, you guys are ridiculous. Do you guys come here for the equity markets, or do you guys come here for my six pack? Like, what are we doing? Amit, did you buy some Rocket Lab? No, but I need to, so that when it goes up, Matt Money can't say shit about me, because I've been messing with him with Rocket Lab. But if it goes up, he's gonna be like, all right, so what now? And I gotta be like, no, I have some. Don't worry, I'm in this with you. All right, see, I'm gonna respond to a tweet right now from the keyboard, right? So if you see me doing this right now, don't I look so cool? Right now, boom. I just responded to a tweet on a wireless keyboard. Like, there's something about it, dude. It's the little things in life. That shit just makes you feel like you're on cloud 9 for some reason, bro. That shit's cool. That shit's so cool. You got to try the new Mr. Beast chocolate. He's refreshing the formula. Okay, so I saw that announcement. I think that chocolate is disgusting, and I don't know what Mr. Beast is going to do to make it better. It's not good chocolate, dude. The only reason people are buying it is because they like his videos. It is so bad. Like, you have to try Mr. Beast chocolate one day. It's not good. So I'll try the new formula. But compared to Hershey's, dude, people said it's going to take down Hershey. No, dude. I don't care how much marketing you do. That shit it's just not good chocolate. It's not good chocolate. Amit, besides software, does Palantir have any other moat? Yeah, they're government business. Like, they are entrenched at the highest levels of the DoD. I actually reacted to this today on Daily Palantir. So Mariana was just like, so what's going on with the government business? Why is it not growing? And Sean was like, dude, we are innovating faster than what the government can even procure from us. Like, the stuff we shipped in Afghanistan is not the stuff we shipped into Ukraine and Israel. So, like, there is a total unique level of innovation. And then Karp said, when in a disjointed world, people think software doesn't matter, but when it does matter, who do they buy from? Ukraine, Israel, they bought from us, right? And so, and when he said the word buy, that means Ukraine actually paid us for software. I would imagine that it's not just free at this point. Ukraine actually paid. So I think their moat is that they're so entrenched in government entities across the world that, and then you talk about the intellectual property. Dude, this company gets 5 patents a day. Like if you follow on Twitter, you'll follow this. Like it's just, there's a ridiculous amount of IP to Palantir. And then those boot camps to me are part of their moat. I mean, other companies are not executing boot camps the way they are. And eventually it won't become part of their moat because it'll be old and other companies will. But as of now, for the next, I think, year and a half, they're able to really capitalize on their go-to-market. So that's what I think is the moat for Palantir. June says, have you heard of Lunar stock? It's headed to space. First moon landing of successful USA in 50 years. Stock has shot up in the last few days. It's en route right now. Lunar. It's up 9% today. Interesting. Over the past year. Oh, that's interesting. I've not heard of this one. LUNR. Let me look at this right here. LUNR year to date. Oh, wow, dude. It's up 182% year to date. Holy crap. Okay, I'll look into this. Look at this. Look at Lunar. That's wild, dude. Yeah, I've not heard of this, June. Why didn't you tell me this before it went up, June? That would have been nice if on January 1st you could have said this versus after it's up 200%. Yeah, I'm going to look into this one, dude. 182%. That's interesting. I guess space is getting more important. The warrants are up over 50%. Yeah. Look at ticker symbol Kisma. See, I would have fallen for that joke, a year ago, but I'm smarter at this point. And I'm not looking at that ticker symbol. I would have done it 5 years ago. Not 5 years ago, like 5 months ago, but I think I got a little smarter. So we're not doing that. It lands in like 5 days. Dude, that's crazy. That's a crazy ticker symbol too for what they're doing. June is pumping and dumping on us. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You did fall for it like 4 months ago. Yeah, what's the one I fell for? It was what was the one I fell for? Do you guys remember? What was the thing? It was some word that someone put together, and it's basically like it was like big tits or something. Like I said that, and I was like, what is big tits? And then I was like, oh, okay. Like that was enormous tits. I thought it was it was like Amit. No, the dude was like, Amit, can you wish my grandmother a happy birthday? She loves watching you. I was like, what? That's so kind. Your grandmother? Enormous tits. Happy birthday. And I was like, I fucking hate you, Johnny. That was Johnny. Yeah, that was you, Johnny. That was you, piece of shit. That was you. That was you. That was so bad, dude. I was like, enormous tits. And then I'm like, that's not a grandma. Even though that sounds like a grandma. Norma. Norma sounds like a grandma. And then Stitz. Like that's Norma. And then, like that sounded like a grandma. But that wasn't a grandma. That wasn't a grandma. Yeah, huge erection. I remember that one too. That was bad. There was another one too that was there. There was another one that was there. How'd you guys feel about ticker symbol U with his new video about he was wrong about Palantir? What'd you guys think when he put that out? Like I think a month ago he said Palantir is dead or something. That was his title or whatever. What did you guys think about him retracting his statements on this one? I'm curious what you guys thought. I think that video got like 80,000 views or something. It's so crazy, dude. Like that video will get 80,000 and like, we're covering day-to-day updates. And look, my channel's smaller, so I'm not expecting 80,000, but it's just wild. Like that it got 116,000 views, dude. It's like, I love Alex. I love him so much. I kind of feel like he saw the stock go up and he was like, all right, I got to admit I'm wrong, which I don't think is the right way to do it like that. Like you got to ultimately have a thesis. I get things change, but dude, to be so bearish right before earnings to say that Palantir is dead and then you change is a really quick 180, but the stock changes. And so you got to change your thoughts. But I got a lot of views, 116,000 people were didn't watch. Yeah, I haven't watched it either, but I saw the headline and I was just like, okay, that's fine. I'm pretty sure an I was wrong video is good for use. Yeah, you're probably true. Agreed, not a fan. And again, his argument was just like, oh, their marketing sucks. And I'm like, when I saw I think I reacted to his video for why Palantir is bad. I was like, dude, out of all the things you're going to get upset about for one of the most intellectually interesting, eclectic companies in the world that did $2 billion in revenue last year, their marketing is the reason you think they're a dead company. It's like, you can fix marketing. And by the way, the boot camps, they're fixing that shit really aggressively, but you can't fix crappy product, you know? And so that's why it was just weird, that whole 180. And I loved it. Dude, that's my friend. Alex, me and him DM, we're friends, but that was weird that that was the reversal. That was the fun thing about my channel, dude, is I only have to worry about one thing when it comes to the actual videos. Like on the market live and the market close, I try to have a good grasp of everything going on. But the actual videos every day are just, I just need to know one thing, right? That's why I'm kind of so happy how I choose to make my channel, because I've seen YouTubers that try to talk about everything every day, and it's just really hard because you have to do so much research, and most of them don't, like me 2 years ago, where I was like, oh, let's talk about Coinbase. Like, I don't know anything about Coinbase, but why would I make a video on Coinbase? Oh, just to get another video up there. It's like, that's not going to grow your channel in a healthy way. Like, you have to niche down and specialize into something that you actually know about. When it comes to Palantir, dude, I can really, I would say, understand how to talk about Palantir, but that's because I niched down to it and I learned about it. But if you're talking about everything, it's just tough, dude. Even on the market open, market close, I'm not the best at analyzing everything. I try to read a lot and get a lot of information and then synthesize all of it. But to make actual 20-minute videos on different stocks, it's not easy. Like Joseph Carlson, I don't know how he does it, dude. I mean, maybe he's just that good of an investor, but like, I don't know how he keeps track of like 10, 15 different positions he has and analyzes each of them. Now, granted, all of his positions are kind of big tech, so there's not that much work you have to do, right? It's like, it's Google, Amazon. It's like, it's not really obscure companies like Palantir. But yeah. Myra, any fun plans for the weekend? I have no plans. I'll be at home and I'll be chilling. And I will be, Nate, I see your stupid comment. Shut up. I'll be chilling. Niche Palantir hotline, not niche everything hotline. Yeah, I agree. And it's the same kind of videos too. 5 stocks to make me rich in 2024. Yeah, it's like, I don't enjoy that stuff. This is why I'm really happy with how we're doing our channel. And look, I was thinking about it today because I saw some people tweeting about PayPal today, right? And I saw this one guy who's obsessed with PayPal. It's one of his biggest positions, and on Twitter, and every single tweet is PayPal. Now PayPal's in the gutter, $58, right? It reminded me of me when Palantir was at 7. When Palantir was at 7 for almost 12 months, dude, that shit was not fun. Okay, that was really not the easiest time to just be like, oh yeah, let's make YouTube videos when everyone's in the comments saying, oh, why doesn't the stock go up? And you're like, well, I don't know, but like the company's doing well. But he's in the same position I was in when Palantir was 7. And if you can just stick it out through the next maybe 30 years that PayPal stuck at $58, there is a sunshine at the end of the rainbow. Okay. And the sunshine at the end of the rainbow for Palantir was GAAP profitability. And then everything changed, right? So you got to stick it out. But as a content creator, it's also a question of how can you make it entertaining while everyone's depressed about the stock? The good thing about Palantir is they had so much damn news that it's like, it was kind of stupid they were at $7. It was just macro stuff, but you realize the company was really doing really well. So it made it fun to make content during those hard times when the stock was depressed and when I was down $50,000 every day. Like, it was really tough looking at my portfolio and then making these videos. But when Palantir is like putting up all this like good news at the end of the day, even if it's not top line great growth, it's still exciting to cover. With PayPal, I don't know what's exciting to cover for the next 30 years as it's at $58, dude. There's just nothing exciting about Venmo. So, and I'm long PayPal, but it's tough. It's really tough to keep covering it. But yeah, I think that's how you would have to stick it out. Amit would be a perfect. Oh, I just got paid from Twitter. All right, how much do you guys think I got? How much do you think I got paid? All of it's going into Palantir, into the public account. How much do you think I got paid? Amit would be perfect for Fresh and Fit podcast for financial advice. I don't think really for financial advice, but maybe I could talk about like the psychology of like getting into the market. And I think I could talk about it not because I'm a great investor, but because I'm young and I got into the market and I'm starting to think as an owner versus a consumer, which is really important at the end of the day, right? To think as someone who is like, I want to take part of the assets that are compounding versus like, just give my money away. So maybe I could talk about that, but probably not actual like real financial advice or tax advice. Dude, I need to learn technical analysis. I'm learning the stupid Bollinger Bands and the Fibonacci nonsense. I'm watching videos on this shit every day so I can actually analyze it on the streams. Because when I'm able to look at all this male astrology and show you guys 17 different lines, I'm going to be unstoppable, okay? But I'm not there yet. And I'm probably not going to be there until the end of the year if I'm being honest. But every week I'm putting in a good at least 3 to 4 hours, like trying to understand, all right, what does this Fibonacci sequence mean? Like, what does it actually mean? What does this Bollinger Band mean? Like, what does this shit mean? What is, there's always indicators. What is what does it mean for the 20-day, 50-day, and 100-day moving average? Like, I know conceptually what the moving average is, but like, how do you actually analyze it in the context of a chart? Those are the things I'm trying to learn. The Barry says, stay in your lane. No, bro, we're getting out of this lane. This is what this channel has constantly been doing. It's adding new lanes to the fucking trackway, and we're just trying to figure out how to be on all those lanes. No, seriously, I want to learn forget just talking about it on YouTube. I want to actually learn how to technically analyze a chart, because I can't do that yet. And I need to learn how to do that. And if I do that, it's going to be really fun. Okay, so how much I got paid on Twitter? So we got $200, we got $25, $180, $4.20, $50. Amit could talk about his journey of virginity. That's very mean. $20, $11.66. Okay, is everyone's guesses in? All of it's going to Palantir, by the way. All of it's going into Palantir. It's going into the public fund. I started that on Twitter, so please make sure you follow the Twitter. I'm going to put in the chat. You guys can see my purchases every single day when we do it. And we're just going to buy it at whatever price every week we get paid, and that's our DCA into Palantir. 469, 169, 250. All right. So we got $335.66, which is up from last week. So the payment history is the last 5 months or last 5 weeks, every 2 weeks have been 163, 177, 221, 303, 335. So we made $30 more than we made last week. So divided by 25, that's like 15 Palantir shares, I think. 335 divided by 25. 13 Palantir shares. Okay. So we get 14 Palantir shares, 13 Palantir shares. Not bad. Not bad. Market closed on Monday. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have to buy. I was gonna buy it today because usually they give it by like 1 p.m., but today they gave it after hours. So look, I said after hours. They gave it at 5 p.m. Dude, I refer to everything that happens in my life like in the context of the stock market. Like when I was eating the Mr. Beast chocolate, if you saw the video on Twitter the other day, I was like, yo, I'm really kind of bearish on the chocolate. And someone in the comments was like, did this motherfucker just say he's bearish on chocolate? And for me, I was like, yeah, that's not a big deal because that just means you're not feeling that excited about the chocolate. You're bearish. But like no one uses that term. Like in the real world, no, like is there a bear? Is there a big black bear or something that's trying to like what like? But in the stock market, where it's like no, bearish means you're kind of like and so we use those terms now. Elon would be proud. We're taking Elon's money, and instead of buying Tesla, we're buying Palantir. So Elon's money is eventually gonna give us returns on Palantir long term. X content more profitable than YouTube? No, but X is a totally different platform. And look, any money X can give. I mean, look, the company's struggling in regards to money. So if they can give any money, I'm like, God, that's awesome. But it's not like YouTube. But YouTube's money is not good either, dude. Like YouTube money is not that great either. So it's really not. Like this is not the dream everyone thinks it is in terms of monetization. The reason I'm doing YouTube, and I say this over and over again, is for audience and building a community. That's why I like YouTube. And there's ways to monetize that later, but you have to do years of building the shit. The ad revenue is not what YouTube is. Like anyone who has a regular job and is like, oh, these YouTubers, like, dude, unless you're putting up hundreds of thousands of views a week, you're not making real money on YouTube. You're better off working at a regular job. So YouTube is not the thing. Yeah, a big black bear, dude. There are black bears. That's a type of bear that exists. There's brown bears, black bears. Like, why are you guys being weird, dude? Those are literally categories of bears. They are different types of bears. American black bear. There's a whole fucking Wikipedia page on it right now. You guys are so naughty, dude. Like all of you are so naughty. This is a real category. Like, fuck you guys, dude. You guys are ridiculous. You guys are absolutely ridiculous. Let's go on a quick grocery run. Amit, when? After hours? Yeah, that's literally what I would say. That's literally what I would say. You guys are wild, dude. You guys are wild. By the way, Big Bear, speaking of bears, their stock is up This is a company that I think used to, I mean, they work for Palantir. I don't know if they still do. Big Bear AI. They're up like, they're up in the past month. They're up 24%. They're a $2 stock, $348 million company. This is a small cap. I got to look into them, but I was getting some DMs about them. I want to look into these guys. Even Sachin was interested in these. I don't know if he invested those. So we gotta look into these guys. But Big Bear had a good month this month. What about Bear Cave? Yeah, I think did Bear Cave put out a new company today? Bear Cave. Let's see what company he put out. Bear Cave Substack. I think he put out a new company today. His latest short is B Riley. Ticker symbol, or no, yeah. Oh, RILY, and then Applied Digital, APLD. See, I don't even want to read his shit anymore because I don't believe him. Like, the Palantir thing ruined his reputation for me. So I don't even know if these companies are worth. Is he doing it for the fucking like clicks, which is what he did with Palantir? Like, if he calls this company a fraud, you called Palantir a fraud. So how can I believe these other companies a fraud if you call Palantir a fraud, right? Like, it's hard for me to trust him. So I'm not even. I mean, it's hard to read the guy's reports. SoundHound, yes. How did they do today? We didn't check. They got a Jensen Huang investment. SoundHound was up 1% today. They were up 40 or 50% yesterday. So that's why they did well. Cool. Bear Cave sounds like a gray man spa, a gay man spa. Yo, low key, the Bear Cave is a gay man spa. That's actually hilarious, dude. Only way you're gonna get there is if you take your shirt off for 30K subs. Dude, you guys don't want to see the six-pack. I really don't think you guys want to see it. I really don't. Like, first of all, a lot of you that don't have a six-pack, you're just gonna feel jealous, and I don't want that to happen. Like, I don't want subscribers to feel jealous of my six-pack, so we're not gonna do that. Bay Ray, I'm not answering your questions, so stop asking that shit. I'm not doing it. Any content for Monday? Work is so slow and the market is closed. So I did this last time the market was closed. I went live and it went well. I mean, we talked about stuff. I mean, maybe we could do a market live. We'll see. I just don't know what we would really discuss that because there's not that much. Yeah, I don't know, dude. We'll see. I'll definitely go live for Palantir deep dives, and we'll definitely do the Palantir daily episode. But I'm not sure. Maybe we'll see what happens over the weekend, and then we'll come up with like a 30-minute or something to go live for on Monday. Okay, I'm trying to get through these comments. Hood 1409 after hours. Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. That's why I'm letting this hood position chillax. We're letting it chillax. Dude, I'm not going to answer the questions you have about certain people you have questions about. I'm just not doing it. So I'm not for the drama. I don't do that stuff. So I'm not, you guys, why don't you ask him? If you guys want to have so many questions, you could ask him. I'm not like, don't ask me. Ask the person you're so curious about asking about. I'm not answering those questions. So I don't stay in the drama at all. Live from the hot tub Monday. That would be hilarious, dude. Live from the hot tub on Monday. Well, first of all, I don't have a hot tub. I'd have to go live from my shower. But again, the six-pack would be a little bit too much to deal with. Do you watch finance YouTubers? Honestly, dude, no. I watch like political shit. I don't even. What does my YouTube homepage look like? Do you guys want to see? What is my YouTube? Honestly, it's a lot more CNBC than anything. Yeah, it's like I watched some CNBC. There's some music reviews I like. I saw Zuck's interview. I saw some CEO interviews. I mean, yeah, there's Andrew Schultz, Flagrant, that podcast I like. I watch that sometimes. Marquez Brownlee, he's cool. I just don't watch a lot of content that much because it's just hard when you're producing a lot and you're creating. But I'll always have something in the background. Always got to have something in the background, most likely. Mick got made fun of yesterday by Big Brother. Yeah, you guys saw that when Chris sunned me on the Finance Junkies podcast. Chris was like, "You're doing too much with these options," and then I was like, "All right, Chris, so do I sell these TFC options?" And then he was like, no, let that. I got to show you guys this clip. This shit was hilarious. He's like, no, let that shit ride. And that was the funniest thing ever, dude. Because he just spent 30 minutes saying, you got to stop playing with these options. You got to out on that. And then like, all right, Chris, so I should sell out these options then, right? He's like, nope, that shit's going to 3X. Leave that shit. That's why I love Chris, dude. He's like a natural content creator. He's a natural content creator. Okay, so let me pull up this clip. This shit was hilarious, dude. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be perfect. This is fun. This will be fun. I watched Alex Jones 24/7. Dude, I had an Alex Jones phase back in 2015. The dude was crazy. I wanted to see what the fuck he was saying. But I don't watch him anymore. But I was like, the frogs are gay. I'm curious why. All right, here's what happened. Let's do a question right here, okay? I have $25,000 in TFC options. Okay. They are up 70% or whatever.
Keep them. You good.
Because I'm like, these bitches are 5Xing, bro. They're gonna
good, bro. TMC. Fed is gonna cut rates. AOCI loss is gonna go down. We got this made in the shit.
This is what I deal with. He's so responsible on the pod, and then when we're texting, he's like, "Nah, just keep the options, dude. They're gonna be fine."
They are fine. You're gonna do fine. I am the one that did the DD. Don't. You know what they say, right? Always trust Chris. Chris doesn't lose money, right? You're gonna be fine with TFC.
Oh God, that's the famous last.
That was funny, dude. I think Chris is going to be right. I think TFC is going to go. I was reading a couple things today, and I was watching a couple analysts talk about financials. I think they're right. I think large cap's going to slow down a little bit. Small cap's not getting any better until interest rates come down. There's only a couple of other sectors left. I think financials that got beaten up over the past couple of weeks because of this regional bank bullshit. I think they might take a little bit of a recovery, especially if regional bank crisis isn't that bad in the commercial real estate sort of conundrum everyone's in, gets refinanced that at levels that don't necessarily cause this massive shockwave. Like financials will do good. Regionals will do good. TFC will get probably closer to that 38.40. So we're keeping the options, dude. We're keeping the options. Bay Ray just DM'd me and he said, take your shirt off. I'm not doing that, Bay Ray. So like, we're not doing this. Again, the six pack is just way too much. Does Chris have his own channel? No, but he has a Patreon. If you go to the Finance Junkies pod, let me just put it here. The link to his Patreon's in the description. He has a Discord. You can join the Discord and you can hang out there. How do short put calendar spreads work? I don't think I know how to answer that question. I do not think I know how short put calendar spreads work. I know a couple of strategies when it comes to options, and I hopefully by the end. Look, I think if every year from now until 35, I can master one option strategy. So I'm 26. So by 35, I have, call it 10 because I started this at 25. I have 10 strategies in my wheelhouse. I would be happy. And when I mean master, I mean, that means like you literally know everything inside and out about that one strategy. So a call debit spread, I think I fully understand. I can explain it to a 2-year-old and I can really execute it on that's how I executed on Robinhood. That's why today we were up 115% on Robinhood because of that spread. I can do that. But I think every year, if I could dedicate myself to learning one of those, then by the time I'm 35, I have 10 of them in my belt, and then we can, and you only need a couple, right? You don't need that many, right? And then the basic call and put, everyone knows that, or at least that's sort of the basic ones. So then the more advanced ones, I want to learn once a year. Said how old are I? But first of all, I'm not 29. I'm not 37. Okay. I'm 26. I'm 26. 37, dude. If I had my beard, I would look like I'm 45, but I don't have the beard anymore. So that's not happening. Amit has AI glasses that compute the DCF model of stocks just by looking at their ticker. Yo, that is a use case for the Vision Pro. That is definitely a reason I would buy the Vision. If I could do this with the Vision Pro on, do the stream, and I could just type in a ticker, and while I'm talking live, I can see all the numbers and it like calculates shit for me. That would actually be a use case that, so many people are returning. Did you guys see the Verge article? There's like an exodus of people from the Vision Pro in terms of returning it back to Apple because they give you 14 days. I mean, dude, if Apple gets a ton of returns and this shit doesn't end up selling, Buffett just sold 10 million shares. I don't know. It's going to be a little tough to see spatial computing actually take off. We'll see. Amit reads the Virgin article. You guys are crazy, dude. You guys are crazy. Does everyone in the chat actually think I'm a virgin? Do you guys in the chat actually think I am? Watch, we get a ton of yeses, dude. We're getting a ton of yeses. It's gonna get so many yeses. Because I want to see what people actually think, dude. Baby says Amit needs me. I keep him in check. That's true. That's true. Keep him in check. Isn't Chris going long Apple? No, not yet. He's doing research, but he's not officially long yet. Carlos is going to force himself to enjoy it. I feel like Carlos is going to want to return it, but not return it because he loves Apple. But I think he's going to want to do it. I think he got the payment plan. I don't think he wants to be paying $200, $300 a month for something he's not using. I think it's going to be tough to see him use it actually. Okay, we got a bunch of yeses in the chat. All right, dude. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. This is funny. It's cool, man. No judgment. Okay, as long as you guys won't judge. That's it. As long as you guys won't judge. All right, so after hours, Robinhood 1408, Google still down, Palantir 2441, Hood keeping that $14 level. That's good. SMCI up a little bit, 804 right now after hours. And then Palantir, where's Palantir? 2444, 2441 after hours. Yeah, the Palantir retail pod. Yeah, we should do it. Dude, we could do it this weekend. Palantir retail pod is with me, Nate, Bay, Ray, and Davis. I did a pod with them in December, if you guys saw that. I was wearing my glasses. Where's my glasses? Are they here? I was wearing the other glasses, the douchebag glasses. The reason I was wearing those because my eyes were swollen that day, by the way. That's why I was wearing it. But yeah, we should do it again. Whenever you guys want to do it, I'm down. I'm free. Just whenever you guys want to do it. Simon, you have a very interesting question. You guys are crazy, dude. There's a new carp debate video. Is it a debate? Is it actually a debate, or is he just talking? We'll react to it probably on Monday, dude. I don't think I'm probably going to get a chance to watch it this weekend, but on Monday we will see. We'll probably react to it then. Okay. Do we end it? Do we end the pod? Was this a good detention after hours, after the pod? You need a Robinhood background in Vlad's portrait. Dude, I need to interview. I need to interview Vlad. Like, he liked 3 of my tweets in the past 2 weeks or past 3 weeks. I need to get an interview with this guy, dude. There's no way he doesn't know who I am. He follows me. I know he sees my Robinhood tweets, dude. He sees my fucking DD. Real quick, my dad is calling me. Hold on. Hello? I'm live. I'm on my show. I'm on it right now, actually. Yeah, I'm live. What happened? Yeah. They said Apple can do it for $320. It'll actually be cheaper. He checked today. So on Sunday, I'll go to the mall and I'll do it at Apple. Yeah, so I'll set the appointment tomorrow. But they on the Genius Bar, the mall I go to, it's not crowded, so we should be good. It should be fine. All right, good. So my dad cracked his iPhone 15, his iPhone 15 Pro Max. Dude, this was so funny over the week, right? My dad on Monday, he cracked his iPhone 15 Pro Max, right? And then I call up a bunch of suppliers and they're like, all right, it's gonna be $500. And then my dad's mad as fuck. He's like, he doesn't want to pay the $500, right? So he's like, do we have some old iPhone we can use and just put my like SIM card in my old ass shit? And I was like, Dad, you're not going from an iPhone 15 to like an iPhone from 2020, right? Like, we're not doing that. And so this is the thing what I mean about like a wealth mentality, right? Like, my dad, instead of spending $500, which I'm probably gonna end up paying for this. I'm gonna go to the mall. I'm gonna do it myself. And Apple ends up charging $300, so it'll be cheap. And that's what I found out today. But like he was so worried about spending $500 that like he was willing to use some shitty phone when he has the brand new model. As like, this is what I mean by an abundance kind of mentality of just like, I'm just like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you got to pay the $500. It's okay. You made a mistake. Like, it is what it is. I'll pay the $500. I don't care. Like, it's a mistake. And so you gotta just recover from the mistake. But he is so scared of like losing money that he's going to sacrifice his productivity by using some shitty phone from 2020. I think it's a weird mindset that a lot of people have. But again, he's an immigrant. You know, $500 is a lot of money to him, which $500 is a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, your phone is your vehicle to get through the entire day. So you got to pay for it. Dad calling his unemployed son. It's wild, dude. It's wild. I mean, technically, I've made more than my dad in the past month and a half off the stock market, including today. Yeah, including today, I've made $9,500. Now, granted, that shit's taxed. Short-term options are taxed at still 20%, right? Short-term options tax. It's not 50%. Short-term capital gains. Yeah, it's just 20%. Okay, so off the 10 grand, we got to give 20%, which is, that's annoying, but it's whatever. It is what it is. Now, granted, that's not sustainable. You know, we can't do 9,500 every 2 months. At least I don't think we're that good yet. So at least for now, that's what we got. 33%. No, but that depends on your tax bracket, right? Like if you're in a tax bracket that's already charging you 33, that's when it counts for 33, right? Or is it literally 33? I think it's 20 to 25. I don't think it's 33. Short-term capital gains is 40, long-term 20. No, short-term is 20, long-term is 15 for all stocks. But for options, I don't know if there's a difference. There might be a little difference, but I don't think there is. I thought short-term was your tax bracket. Yeah, that's what I thought. So it should be 15 to 20. It shouldn't be that crazy. It shouldn't be that crazy. It is on a 6 camera for the stream. Dude, the problem with this stupid camera is that it overheats. And like it's the better camera. But I like the 4K, which is why it overheats. That's why we go back and forth with these cameras. I thought it was taxed as ordinary income. It is, but if it's short term, they put a higher percentage on the ordinary income versus if it's long term. Long term is still added to your income as well. Dude, I looked at my I'm not gonna have to pay any taxes for my gains last year because I took a loss of like 11 grand, and so it balanced out everything for the year because I basically made 11 grand last year. So I'm Gucci. I don't think I have to pay any taxes on my gains last year, which is not too bad. So we'll see. Food stamps don't get taxed. Oh my gosh. Just don't file. Yeah, just go to jail. That's better. Just don't file. Dude, I've been paying taxes since 2017 at least. I've been paying taxes for a minute, dude. It's 7 years? Yeah, I've been paying taxes. There was one year I made a decent amount of money in college and I didn't know what a write-off was. Or I knew what a write-off was, but I didn't take advantage of it enough. And I ended up paying like 3 grand in taxes. I would have paid like $400 if I actually, the next year after, you're damn right, I paid $600. I remember it went from $2,700 to $600 because I figured out what the fuck a write-off was in a real way. And we wrote some shit off, dude. We wrote some shit off. Stops at 3 grand for a loss. Yeah, but it's also net from my understanding. So this is the confusing part. I got to talk to my CPA about this, but it's not just stops at 3 grand for a loss. If it's net and net, like whatever gains you had that was offset by the amount of losses that you had, it's like at the end of the day, your tax documents from your brokerage shows you how much overall did you make or lose for the year. And then from that, if that's negative, I believe that means you didn't have any gains at all. Now, I could be wrong about that. And that means that if that's negative, then they only take the 3K from that and you have to pay gains on top of the delta between the 3K and what you made. But I don't know if exactly that's correct. So I don't know. I'll have to talk to my CPA and see what they say. This is why I pay a professional. I'm not going to research all this. Yeah, this is why I pay a professional as well. It's all fake. Money's fake. Buy Bitcoin. That's it. That's all we show. But people who sell Bitcoin also have to pay the fucking taxes too. That's the ironic part. If you sell out of Bitcoin and get gains, you have to pay taxes on anything crypto related. So it's not like it's that different. Why does someone unemployed have a CPA? Dude, I have an LLC, okay? So yes, I'm unemployed, but I am technically self-employed, okay? I employ myself. And as a result of that, I have to pay 15.3% top line self-employment tax, which sucks, okay? But I have an accountant. I have people, I got people in my circle that give me information. I was on the phone with a bunch of lawyers this week, dude. It was an interesting week. You should pay your parents rent from the space you work from and write it off. Okay, so I'm not going to say anything because this is public and all this stuff, but like let's just say there's some. My CPA is good. He's advised me in a meaningful way, based on your comment, Yeti. That's based. It's a good comment. That's all I'll say. It's a good comment. You meeting with Jamie Dimon yet? First of all, it's Jamie Dimon. It's not Jamie Dimon. But no, I'm not meeting with Jamie Dimon yet. Write-offs are key for self-employment. Yeah, dude. When I figured out you could write shit off, dude, I was asking my CPA everything. I was like, can I write off like the cowbell that I bought? He was like, do you use the cowbell on YouTube? I was like, yep. He was like, that's a write-off. I was like, all right, I'm writing this off. I'm writing that. I wrote off as much as I could write off, dude. I wrote off everything. And for the most part, all of it was like, it was reasonable. Even your car, dude, you're allowed to write off 57 cents per every mile that you drive. What is it this year? 2024 mileage tax rate. What is it this year? Wow, they made it 67 cents. It was 57 last year and 55 the year before that. They increased that shit by 10 cents, dude. That's big. I don't drive that much anymore, but like that's still a decent amount. That's still a decent amount. Not sure exactly because your parents will have to pay taxes from the rent. So I mean, not to go super into it, but my dad owns another property, and like there's a way to make an argument that I have connections to that property, and there's the rent that goes. So like, it doesn't really happen from our house. It happens from my dad's. My dad bought that property in 2008. When I say I was doing the lottery for people. You remember when I say that like at my dad's liquor store I was ringing up the lottery? It's because from 2009 to 2011 there was a house across the street from us. There was a lady who had like 50 cats. She died, and so my dad bought the house from her after she died, or from her estate, and it was right across the liquor store. And he was at that house all day doing the reconstruction, like managing the contractors, all that stuff. And so I was left running the liquor store, dude. I was literally running the whole store. So I had to learn the lottery. I had to learn everything. And so that's when I learned how to do that shit. But that property is where, I did have an office technically there in 2021. And okay, I let real quick. Sorry, I refreshed the screen real quick. But yeah, I had an office there in 2021, and so I kind of still have an office there. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, dude. That's what we're doing. Carl says I write off my patrol every week, but you don't travel for your work, do you? Yeah, I don't travel anymore, so I can't do the IRS tax, the 67 cents mile thing this year. But I did it for the past 3 years when I did travel for work. So. Oh my god, dude. No, but really, I go to his property probably like every month to do some work there, because there's like different things in his basement that's basically like my pseudo office that I work from there. So, and that's all you need on the actual definitions when it comes to what is an office space. You don't need to be there 10 hours a day. You just need to show up there, right, every so often. And like, it's like Puerto Rico. If you live there for 6 months out of the year, you're good. You're a Puerto Rican resident. You don't have to pay any state income taxes. So that's kind of the technical definition that the IRS has for an office, and so it plays out. And that's what we do. His basement, yeah, he has a basement in that house that he doesn't rent out to anybody. So that basement is basically it's been my office for like 4 years, dude, because it's not legal to rent out a basement in New Jersey. No one can live in your basement. So we just turn it into an office, and that's where I work. And that's how I do it. Amidst prison inmate. So what are you in here for? Amit, I bought too many cowbell. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Amit knows tax loopholes a little too well. Yo, not gonna lie, dude. I fucking know some tax. I understand this shit, and it's not even illegal because if it's in the. It's not even a loophole, dude. It's in the writing, and if you read the laws every year, and because I know you guys like to joke that I'm unemployed, but that forces you to learn the system a bit more, especially when you pay $3,000 in taxes when you're fucking 21 and you realize you could have paid nothing, and so you learn this shit, and so you got to. They're not really loopholes; they're just rules that you either take advantage of or you don't. And I learned how to take advantage of some of these rules. Your Palantir dungeon, yeah. Let me say, do I have a picture of the office? I could show you guys. I think I do, because we put some couches in there. Like Dude, if the IRS ever came and they're like, is this an office? If they walked in, it would legitimately look like an office, dude. It's a great office. Like it's yeah, hold on. Do I have the I'm trying to see if I have some pictures of it. It's a dope spot, dude. It's a really, really dope spot. Let me see. Do I have any this from let me see a little bit further back. I gotta check. I definitely have some YouTube videos because I used to record some videos there, but those are on a different account. But I'll show you guys it later. The loopholes are meant to be used. Exactly. Dude, the IRS doesn't want you to not use the loopholes. The IRS just wants to know you're paying your share after you use the loopholes. Like, because again, the reason there's loopholes, quote unquote, is because they want small businesses, which is what I am, to employ people and to spend money. Like if I'm spending money on these cowbells, the stupid metaphor, whatever, like I'm putting money into the economy by buying these cowbells for my business. And the cowbell is a crucial part of the show, right? You can make a reasonable argument that like that's a part of the entertainment of the media company. So small businesses are supposed to take write-offs if they're legitimate. They just have to be legitimate. And as long as they're legitimate, the IRS doesn't give a fuck because they want you to have economic activity. It's the people that like hide money in places or don't report the income, like that's where the IRS gets ticked off because they're like, dude, you got to like show this shit. You can't just not show this money. Garcia says, I know Amit is not wrong, but the idea of him being totally wrong is hilarious. Oh, boy, the show is nothing without the cowbell. Yeah, if you guys have to testify for me, it's because I'm going to need ET to say the shows are if a stock gaps up, is it likely it will usually fill that gap and trend back down? So there's a gap on SMCI at 340. So if you believe that gaps are real and that they always get filled up, then yeah, that shit's going all the way down. Now, granted, Palantir had a gap at 15. We got to 1565 and we never looked back. So I don't know. I don't know if I believe in the thesis that gaps always get filled or not, dude. But if it does, SMCI is falling badly. Also, doesn't Palantir have a gap at like 17 right now? So I don't know if someone was saying there's still a gap at 16. So I don't know if it would happen. I don't know if it would actually get filled. I want to fill my mouth with some food. I would like to fill my mouth with some food right now. That would be good. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. What time is it? It's 5:40 on a Friday, dude. Dude, I should be going out to like a club or something. I am here streaming, and quite frankly, I enjoy that much more than even the idea of going out to like get a drink at a bar or something, dude. That shit repels me so much. Like I don't want to leave the house. I want to stay inside and just work. I got 3 screens. I got, this computer super fast now. I got my headphones. I got my water. Like, this is all I need. This is all I need. Yo, Nate, you're wild, Brody. You are wild. You are wild, my guy. I'm not even. You're crazy. I don't need shots. I need tickers. Exactly, dude. I don't need shots. I need tickers, dude. Doesn't this outfit look super cool with the gold chain and the hoodie on top of the hat? This low key. Hold on. I got to take a picture of this. And the microphone right there, dude. I look like I'm a rapper. Dude. Dude, that actually looks kind of cool. That's low key an outfit, dude. I think I need to. It kind of looks like a turban too. So I kind of look like I'm more Indian now because like this kind of looks like a turban, low key. Very street, right? Yeah, looks straight. This is real gold too, by the way. This isn't fake Amazon gold. This is real shit. You know what I'm talking about? We got the P for Palantir. I mean, no, it's not. It doesn't stand for Palantir, but this is actually a necklace I got like when I was like 5 years old, dude. And my mom found it the other day in her like jewelry box. She's like, "Do you want to wear it?" I was like, "All right," because I haven't taken it off since then. Amit, are you taking a position in Celsius? No, even though Chris told me like 2 weeks ago to buy it. Nah, dude. First of all, I mean, now I have money because I cleared up cash, but dude, I just don't care. I don't want to worry about Celsius, dude. I really don't want to worry. First of all, the drink is disgusting. If I actually liked the drink, I would have considered it. But I don't care enough about Celsius, dude. I just don't care. But it's gonna do well. Their growth is great. It's gonna do well. I just don't care enough about it to actually buy it. but it'll do good. Mitt looks like an undercover snitch. This is your best fit, low key, dude. This is a fit. I'm not the bad at dressing, dude. I got some, I didn't grow up on a farm. I don't own a ranch, but I'm not the best at dressing. I mean, I am the best I'm not the worst at dress. Damn it, I messed it up. Shit, I knew I was gonna get the ranch bar in there, but then I messed up on the last word. I'm not the worst at dressing. I said I'm not the best, so that ruined the whole. Yo, I made a joke today on the market open. Someone was like, Amit, why do you go ba? And I made 2 jokes in a row. That shit was straight fire. I said number 1, because I like Ali ba. And then number 2, I said, or I'm a goat that goes ba. Like that. That shit was legitimate hot fire. Some of the chat out of the 1,200 people thought it was cringe. I thought it was actual fucking riz at a different level. Okay. It was a good joke this morning. It was a good joke. You said you were a goat. Yes, exactly. I said I was a goat. That's a sheep. Wait, a goat doesn't go ba? A sheep does? A goat? What do you mean a goat doesn't do that? What sound does a goat make? What sound does a goat make? I thought a goat makes that sound. Yes, it does, dude. You guys are trying to gaslight me here. It does go ba. Look at this. Generative AI from Google. Okay. Goats make a variety of sounds like ba or ma. All right. So I was right. Okay. I was right here. I was right. I mean, sheep probably are more known for the ba, but still. It's ma. No, you're probably right. It's ma. You're probably right. Amit is Amit's #1 fan. Dude, you gotta be. When the chat's against you, when you're spitting hot fire and the chat's not laughing, like, you gotta make sure you have the it's the same thing with talking to girls, dude. Like, as long as you're confident, you're good. Like, really, talking to girls is not complicated. It's not that hard. You just got to be confident. That's it. That's really it, dude. Same thing with talking to a chat on YouTube. Just got to be confident. That's all it takes. Robinhood 1404. Okay, so we ended 1404 for the day. There we go. Amit, stop. You don't talk to girls. Amit, a resident expert on girls. Oh, boy. No, it's true though. Yo, I fucking hate this camera so much, bro. I want to fucking kill this camera. I legitimately want to kill this camera, but it's true. When it comes to girls, all you got to do is, as he's talking to 350 guys. Oh my God. Nah, dude, it's true though. When it comes to talking to girls, it's not that hard. It's just like, you just have to have an in. You have to have an in terms of the you have to break the ice when it comes to a conversation. And then as long as you can keep the conversation going and you're confident during the conversation, whether it's in person or whether it's in text, I don't know, dude. It's never been that hard for me. I'm not even trying to front right now. Like, when I look back on my life, when it came to talking to girls, it's not been that hard. As long as you have a personality and you're kind of funny, it's not that crazy. I keep thinking the IRS is kicking in the door when he switched the camera. Oh my gosh. Yo, how many people in the chat here are girls, dude? Don't lie though. Like be honest, dude. Like if you have some random, like if your name is ET FaceTime Home, don't say you're a girl, because we're not going to be able to verify that. You need to have like a regular name on the thing. Like, I know everyone has weird names, but like Eric Wood is probably not going to be a girl if he says he's a girl, right? Because his name is Eric Wood. So Golden Eagle says they're a girl. Okay. SMTO, they're a girl. Okay. So we got 2. Big Billy, you're not a girl. You're definitely not. Tesla, there's a girl in your profile pic, so that's definitely a girl. D's Nuts, I don't think is a girl. Imnop June, she's a girl. I know that. Are we defining what a girl is? We're keeping it very simple. Okay, we're not being that crazy here. So yeah, I think the chat's like what, 3% girls. It's not horrible. I wish more women were interested in finance, dude, but it's hard. Like, I was talking to my sister this week about stocks, dude. It's hard. And I don't want to generalize for all girls, but like a lot of them just are thinking about other things, which is fine, but it's tough, dude. Even for guys. I mean, most guys aren't interested in it either, right? There's a small minority of guys that actually care about the markets, but it's overwhelmingly guys versus girls, you know? Laura, okay, so we got another girl here. There we go. I'm happy when I see girls in the chat because there's like actual, girls in this broader finance community. And that's a big thing, dude. That's why, I mean, look, I know we all pick on Kathy, but at the end of the day, she is killing it when it comes to being a woman in finance. Now, granted, losing $14 billion, whether you're a girl or a guy, kind of sucks for your clients, but at least it's not Ross Gerber doing it. Right? Lisa, okay, boom. We got another girl in the chat. So we have some girls. Carla, that's a girl. Carla. I remember I went that story about Carla. I had a friend in high school named Carla. She was one of my good friends for like the majority of 4 years. So yeah, we got some girls. Look, Meg King. That's it. We do have more girls. Okay, so we do have girls here. You guys just don't comment in the chat. You guys just sit back and watch the chat turn into absolute catastrophe while I try to make sense of it. And you don't comment, which is fair. I mean, you just like, you're like, you know what? I'll let this whole thing erupt. But at least we know we do have some girls. Okay, I think we got to end the stream here. I think we got to end it 5:50 p.m. That's it for me today. Angel says, Amit, you're my favorite YouTuber, low-key. Thank you so much, Angel. That was such an angelic comment. This is what I mean, dude. This is why I get girls. Okay. Like I can do that. I can say that, right? I can turn Angel into angelic and then boom, the girl's smiling, she's blushing. And then you hit her with another joke. Like I went on a date with a girl once a year ago and we got sushi and she was like, oh, do you want miso soup? And I was like, yeah, because you make me so happy. And she started blushing, dude. It was easy after that. It was smooth butter. Okay. That's it. So this is what I mean. All right. You guys can keep doubting me all you want, but this is what I mean. Cool comment, guys. Is Angel's ask us? No, Angel's being nice right now. Angel's being nice. I hope Kelly's in here. Dude, trust me. All of that Riz has been applied on Kelly very well. All right. So like this is what we do. This is what we do. Okay. This is how we do it. That is what it is. You either hate it or love it, but it is what it is. Angel said he's a dude. Okay, that's right. Well, still, Angel, your comment was very angelic. Thank you for that. All right, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'll see you guys Palantir Weekly, 11 p.m. Oh, shit. I forgot I have another stream, dude. Fuck. When is this next stream? Is this soon? Is this soon? Oh, shit. It's at 6 to 7. Okay, so we're doing another stream, guys, in 10 minutes. I thought this was 7 to 8. So all 295 people, go get some chips. Let me text them just to make sure. It's the semis pod. We're still doing it at 6. We're still doing it. All right, so we got another pod in 10 minutes. I actually thought it was at 7 to 8, but no, we were 6 to 7. So I just texted him, my boy Jose. And yeah, we're gonna do NVIDIA earnings expectations. That's the big thing for this pod. So we'll do that. All right, cool. So we still have time. You're doing this on purpose. You think I extended my entire market close to 9 minutes before my next pod just so I could segue everybody into the next pod? Do you really think I did that? Because I am a very calculated individual. And maybe I did do that. No, honestly, I forgot. I thought we were doing 7 to 8, but if he texts me back that we're doing 6 to 7, we'll do 6 to 7 then. So, okay. If not, I guess it'll be 7 to 8. You guys will find out soon when I post the link, but I'm pretty sure we're doing 6 to 7. So we'll see. All right. That's it. I'll either see you in 10 minutes or I'll see you in an hour. I will definitely see you in about 5 hours for Palantir Weekly. I hope you guys liked After Hours today on the market. Oh, yep. 6 o'clock. All right. We're doing it. All right. So I'll see you guys in 8 minutes. Get a drink, get some food. And we're talking NVIDIA earnings, which is a big one, in 8 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in a bit. The link will be posted in like 2 seconds. It'll be posted in 2 seconds. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.